What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to your favorite wrestling.
All right.
Welcome back to your favorite West Wrestling podcast, RSH, regularly scheduled hostilities, with your host, Chuck Winchester, with your host, Yvonne DeBoard, with your host, the RSH champion, still Josh DeBoard.
He spoke it.
You know what Friday is, right?
What is Friday?
900 days.
That's a lot of days.
That's all days.
Roman Reigns.
We got to
step up.
And the returning Jimmy Baby from Wrestle Buddy. What's going on, brother?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Thank you guys for having me back on. Last time was a blast. This time, I'm going for blood, honestly. I'm here on a mission.
Are you the best in the world when it comes to wrestling podcasting or what? What's going on?
Absolutely. 100%. That's why I'm at Wrestle Buddy. That's why they pay me the big bucks.
That's where the crown comes from. Not only the best in the world, you're the king of the world.
King of the world, yeah.
At least he doesn't act like the guy's shirt he's wearing, and he's the best in the world.
That is
running
true.
off when
That
shit
is
gets
true.
tough.
That is true.
But we'll get to that.
We'll get there.
We'll
there.
definitely get to that.
Lots of CM Punk drama. If you guys watched last
yeah.
week, you've heard some of the,
Yeah.
Josh is out here
Well, I always
saying fuck.
I always watch Jimmy's post shows. So I was just telling Chuck, I enjoy the instant reaction after a show. So I always watch your Raw show. I always watch your Dynamite show.
Appreciate it.
I mean, I prefer the Raw show because it's
Obviously.
it's actually good. But this last Wednesday, you were very upset. You did not enjoy Dynamite. And then I was like, what can I do to make it better? I was like, I'm going to try to destroy him next week on RSH about CM Punk.
Make it better.
But
Honestly, if you would have got me on last Thursday, you probably would have just ended me. I was in no position to argue.
You looked like I did. All right, so there's one episode of RSH that before we did video, Saudi's we used to do it every Thursday at 6:30 and we watched Goldberg beat the Fiend. So we named the podcast Goldberg, and we scrapped everything we had scheduled to talk about and just verbally destroyed Goldberg.
You guys did.
It was like 3 hours.
It was a long
I went home at 10 o'clock. We only record for an hour and a half at the most. We
That's
tried
still
to
not enough time to destroy that.
dude,
man.
we just and I was so defeated, I didn't want to be on camera. The Fiend was my favorite. And the only thing worse is when he got fired and it was noon and I learned what day drinking meant. He texted me, said, "Hey, the Fiend just got released." And I said, "You're fucking real funny."
Yeah.
I look and he did. So that's what you looked how I felt when Bray got fired.
Yeah. That was another one that hurt me. That was the first time I ever wrote something off of emotion. He got released, and then 2 hours later, I already had something put out. I was that pissed.
Oh, dude, we were with the Buzz, it's the website we were with before, and they messaged me "Hey, will you write something up on that?" And I was like, "No."
Yes, that bothers.
No, I don't want to be the ones Josh DeBoard's reported, the Fiend's out. It's no.
Fuck you, Josh.
It'd be the headline be "The Fiend is released." Fuck, and that's the end of. Make sure to watch RSH next week. That's all I had to say. But let's go. I guess let's start there. So Dynamite. The word on Twitter, when Twitter's where everything's factual.
For sure.
That's why I'm
was
there.
one of the worst Dynamites in a long time. So since you're kind of the AEW expert between you and Yvonne, because you guys are the only ones that watch it religiously, what did you think of last Wednesday's Dynamite? And does that hinder your excitement for tonight at all, even though this is the go-home show for their pay-per-view, right?
Sunday.
Yep. So I'll say it's not the worst show. I think the placement of everything, and this is a complaint I always have about Dynamite, the placement of the segments and matches is always questionable. And this was probably the biggest example of it. Having that main event and the stuff they did there in the middle of the show just completely deflated the crowd and everybody watching. It was what the fuck did I just watch? I will say it has me a little bit more excited for tonight's show because I'm either going to be really, really disappointed or I'm going to come out of this show being okay, you sold me on All Out. And that's all it is. I'm literally going into tonight's show with very high expectations because you have a pay-per-view to sell to me. And if you don't do it, it's on you. And that's strike two for me. So.
Now, let's be honest. Are you going to get the pay-per-view no matter what happens tonight, or is it going to be depending on how the show went?
It'll depend on when I watch it. Because my thing is I wanted to go to the theater to watch it with my son.
I gotcha.
And that's extra money to spend to do that.
Sure.
So if they can sell me big on it, I'll do that. because he don't have school and all that, so it's all good.
Makes sense.
Is it cheaper to go to the theater?
I
What
think
is it
like,
on pay-per-view?
I think it's like $25 a person to go, but then I gotta get them snacks and drinks and all that
I
other
got
stuff.
you.
So
So what is it to buy it on TV? Like
I
60?
think it's 50.
Okay. I was gonna
Same.
say, I haven't bought a wrestling
tickets.
pay-per-view since WWE got their network.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Long time.
So yeah, tonight I'm expecting a lot because he has to do a lot to sell that pay-per-view, in my opinion.
Right.
So I'm a little bit more excited than I normally am for a Dynamite.
Right.
So
That's fair.
which event this weekend? It's a fucking loaded weekend.
loaded.
I did not understand.
It is
like,
loaded,
we were
yeah.
talking before that we went on air. Like Jimmy and Chuck ain't big college football guys. I mean, I'm a Michigan fan, so if they're good, I care. If they don't, then I won't watch. But like, I got college football. I got 2 fantasy drafts Saturday, both at noon. Ask me how the fuck I'm going to manage that.
Right, exactly.
Our buddy Bennett's coming over to hang out and watch Clash with me because it's on at 1.
Hell yeah.
I got Clash.
NXT.
College football's back.
NXT.
Worlds collide.
Yep.
I'm not watching All Out, but like it's there.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
that's a loaded wrestling
It
weekend.
is.
Out of the 3 events, which one are you looking forward to the most?
Oh, Clash. That I may like AEW and I may praise them a little bit more than most people do, but I'm WWE at heart 100%, and I'm always going to put them above everybody else.
Their match card isn't bad for so AEW's is
Not real bad.
Tony Storm, Britt Baker. So they're announcing their 53rd interim champion. Tony Storm, Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, and Sheeta. The TBS title, Athena versus Jade Cargill. So Athena's Ember Moon, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Another intern title.
And Keith Lee and
Seriously,
Swerve
is that real? Is that
are
an intern
fighting
title
the
again?
acclaimed. Yeah,
Yep,
the women's.
the women's.
Because
I
Thunder,
didn't know that. You're making a
well,
joke.
Thunder Rosa's look, the report is Thunder Rosa was hiding in the bathroom. So like until she comes out, they need a champion.
For fuck's sake.
And then the Trios Championship, which
Yep.
is TBD, Jungle Boy and Christian,
Jungle.
Brian Danielson and Chris Jericho. Ask me where I've seen that one before.
I know.
Wardlow and FTR, who just got thrown out of the video game, against Motor City Machine Guns, and then Ricky Starks and Will Hobbs, which, you know what's funny? The 2 matches that jump out to me are Jungle Boy and Christian and Hobbs and Starks.
There you go. That's the
Those
two,
are the
those are the 2 that I'm most excited for.
Those are the 2
Yeah.
most well-built-up matches on this card.
Absolutely.
And Christian has been amazing.
He has been.
Oh,
Except he
Absolutely.
needs to leave and go back to WWE as soon as possible.
I agree.
The only AEW I watch these days is literally Christian on
Christian,
YouTube.
yeah.
Like,
He's killing it.
That's
all
not
I
a
care
bad
about.
card. And we'll
It
go
is.
through Worlds Collide and shit later.
Not a bad
Obviously,
card
it's
at
the
all.
premise of our show's predictions.
Jungle Boy sucks, though. We all agree he's kind of a douche.
Man, I love Jungle Boy.
Hey,
I'm not even going to be shameful about it. I love Jungle Boy.
Look, so
I mean, whatever.
I go to the bowling
Look.
alley. There's a mall close to where I live. It's the Dayton Mall. But like there's this guy that works there that looks just like Jungle Boy. So
Oh,
like
nice.
I stumbled over to him a couple weekends ago when I was there
Just let him know about it.
having some adult beverages, and I was like, "Hey, is Luchasaurus here?" He looked at me like I was fucking nuts and was like, just walked away.
You just making minimum wage trying to get by,
Wow.
working at a mall. And crap.
Dude, he looked just like Jungle Boy.
Oh,
And I started like
God.
humming the song and dancing, and I was like, dude, your dad, I'm so sorry your dad's dead. And he was just like,
Good
Jesus.
God, Christian. You
But-
sound like Christian.
look, Jimmy, Bud Light's rough.
Oh my God.
It is rough. I'll give you that.
And as you guys know, RSH will one day be sponsored by Bud Light.
Well, I mean,
Until
hopefully
then.
Miller Lite, because that's all I drink on the show
you fucking.
every fucking week.
This is all right. So when he mentions his diet beer, I also got to mention that Jimmy, 2 weeks, it's been a month.
Still doesn't know.
He
who
still
she
knows
is.
the fuck Billie Eilish is.
Still don't.
90 calories.
But in
bro.
case you missed it, Jimmy, me and her went to the Grammys together.
I seen that. I seen
Josh
that.
So, like,
voiced it. He keeps
You know,
dreaming.
me and her, like, we're talking, but like, we don't want to be official. You know, I'm a kind of a big celebrity.
I
and
can't
don't
get over
wanna-
how short she is. But
She's
okay.
so young. She's got, you know.
She
whatever.
looks like your daughter.
But
If,
anyway.
if I was on a game show and the $1 million question was name any Billie Eilish song, I would lose that game show.
Well, you.
What?
Hopefully, it's what.
At
Hopefully,
least
it's
you know you got a lifeline, bro.
Yeah,
That's
like,
a good
what
point.
was that show? What was that show where you could call a friend?
Millionaire.
You call me.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
Oh God, he
the
was.
Billie Eilish song. Which one?
Yeah, give me any of them.
Any of them. I don't know.
Name them all.
But all right. So the hot topic was CM Punk after last week, the squash match.
Best in
So
the
as
world.
a CM Punk fan, both of you,
Yep.
how did you guys feel? I'm sitting on my couch and my buddy calls me, who never calls me. He's like, Punk just lost faster than almost his UFC career. And I'm like, what? And they're like, he got squashed.
He
And I was like,
did.
what the fuck?
He
So
did.
like, I instantly go to YouTube, and it's there. Of course, it's there.
I watched that too. Yeah.
He did.
So what was your guys' reaction?
Jimmy,
Because
Take
that
us
was not-
away.
did you expect that? Because it caught me off guard.
They
I
did
did not
too,
expect that. when they put it on at the top of the second hour, I was like, okay, we're gonna get a long match here. That's why they're putting it there. That's why they're emphasizing 60-minute time limit. And then within 3 minutes, I was just shocked. I was like, what the fuck did we just watch? The match itself doesn't disappoint me. Like, I'm sure there's more story to tell, and I'm a patient man. I'm willing to see where things go. But just the fact they put it on in the middle of the show to me was dumbfounding. I was like, why would you do that? Because if you're a fan like me, or you're even more like emotional fan than I am, you watch it, you're like, man, fuck this. I don't even want to watch it no more. You might turn it off. You're going to watch the rest of it with just like sour grapes. You're not going to be able to enjoy anything else. So the match itself, like I said, just shocking, honestly. It was just so shocking to see it. Just don't do it in the middle of a show. Don't ever do that again, Tony Khan. You've done a lot of dumb
That is the
things.
Booker of the Year and the longest tenured CEO in the wrestling you're talking about. Jim.
Exactly.
Well, that's the dumbest thing he's ever done. And again, he's done a lot of dumb things. To me, that was the dumbest, hands down.
Speaking of,
It was pretty dumb.
RSH is also sponsored by Tony Khan's huge pile of cocaine,
Yeah, dude.
which never goes.
He's got a
any lower.
problem.
That seriously makes zero sense. You know, and I've talked shit about WWE's booking all day. Like, why is the title picture first, or why is it here? First is better than in the middle. You know,
Yeah, right.
what the fuck is
You
that?
either want to go on first or last.
Exactly, and they have a pay-per-view scheduled a week and a half away, and you decide to out of nowhere, we're going to throw it on the card. Not just on the card, we're going to throw it in the middle of the fucking show.
They did, yeah.
And then it's going to be a squash match. So I kind of figured it's going to be a squash match when I learned it's going to be on Wednesday rather than it's going to be sold. Did I expect to be in the middle of the show? I saw that. I was like, what the fuck?
Do they?
What is happening?
Are they planning to add that to the show, or are they going to keep the title off of All Out?
I'm hearing rumors that the squash was because of CM Punk's stupid foot. Like, oh my god, my foot hurts and I can't do anything. And so they kind of use
Such a
that.
dick.
They kind of use that.
Remember what
as
he said last
I'll
week
talk
about
shit
it?
about the guy, but like he
What?
did hurt his
Remember what
foot.
Chuck said about last week?
Oh, my foot! What do we want to fucking limp out there? Chuck don't give a fuck.
Do your
It's
job.
well, let's put it this way, though. Realistically, I mean, they just use that as a pawn or whatever. But do you remember when John Cena fought Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam with his fucked up arm?
Oh, well,
Or more
Mhm.
recently, do you remember when Cody Rhodes fought a Hell in a Cell match
That's
with a
fair.
torn
Like,
pec?
that's a fair one. Yep.
But CM Punk, I'm going to fight. It's not going to be a real match to me in the middle of the fucking Wednesday night Dynamite with 100,000 people watching.
So this is where 100,000. I love this. But this is what Jimmy said about placement of shit. Like
It's a joke.
that's horrible placement. And
That's
what main
horrible.
evented that night? The fucking
Triple-
And
that-
this is what I talked about on the Dynamite recap, and it's what pissed me off even more than anything because I hate the Bucks. I'm not shy about
All
it.
right.
I
I
don't
hate them.
want to either.
we have struck common ground.
Cheers to that.
So they placed themselves in the main event. Not the main event match. It was the finals, the Aussie Open, Will Ospreay versus Death Triangle match.
Yeah.
But then you end the show with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks coming out to confront those guys instead of having the end of the show be CM Punk look back at the ring like, hey, I just got my ass whooped and I think I'm done. And
Yep.
it's like, why would you do that? One is clearly a bigger story than the other.
It's all psychology.
It's stupid. Yeah, exactly. It's just a stupid. I'm still trying to wrap my head around why. Why
Question.
you would do
So
that?
dumb.
Question: I didn't watch it on Wednesday night at the end, but were the Bucks and Omega they dressed like Street Fighters, or
I could tell you. When I see the Bucks, I literally zone out.
So who's left in the trios thing?
So tonight you get the Aussie Open and Will Ospreay versus the Young Bucks and Kenny.
Okay.
And then I think on Rampage you get not the House of Black, the Dark Order and Best Friends.
Best friends.
So we're gonna have
I like
best
the Best
friends
Friends. I think they're
against.
You're gonna have Dark Order versus Kenny Omega and the Bucks.
Oh, you think
So
the Dark Order's
stupid.
going over? Dude,
Yeah,
I
because
love
you're gonna have Hangman Page in their corner, and it just
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hangman's gonna be in there.
Yes. So let's backtrack a little bit
Yeah.
Sure.
because that happened a couple weeks ago.
Mhm.
What
How
was it?
did you see him? We talked about it last week. CM
We
Punk
did.
going into business for himself.
Oh, Paige, yeah.
So-
Last
Yep,
week.
that was last week.
So, Jimmy, how did you feel about that? Chuck is probably the biggest CM Punk fan we have out of us three.
Yeah, exactly.
And
He is.
Defends him definitely more than I do.
Me too.
But it pissed him off that he kind of went after Paige because it's one of those things. Like if Paige comes out there, which he wasn't
Obviously
there,
Couldn't. Yeah.
but like if he comes out, then like you're really breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
If he doesn't come out, he's a puss. So like there's really no winning for him. So what was your thought on all of that?
So without knowing anything, because again, I'm one of those guys, I will not trust the dirt sheets until I see it on TV or Sean Ross Sapp is reporting that there was a release. Those are the only two things I'm believing.
Sure.
I'm not believing anything the dirt sheets report because you're going to get multiple stories.
Absolutely.
I will say, I'll tie in the Eddie Kingston, Sammy Guevara thing to this. Sammy Guevara said, when you do a program with someone, you link up with each other, you talk about what you want said, what you don't want said. And then if you literally say you don't want anything said, then it's free game. But if you say, hey, don't talk about this, I don't want this brought up, you're supposed to respect that.
Sure.
I think that's how you're supposed to do it. So one of the stories that did come out was that Hangman Page, CM Punk wasn't a fan of the Colt Cabana stuff being brought up. And since we haven't heard anything about that on AEW television, I have to think that's something CM Punk just probably doesn't want brought up at all.
Sure.
But whatever the reason, he just wants to put it in the past. He doesn't want to cause drama. I don't know. Maybe he's just being like, hey, don't talk about it because he's the asshole that we all think he is or know he is.
Sure.
So Hangman Page brought it up, though, correct?
Yeah.
So if Hangman Page went into business for himself and then CM Punk did that, that's a receipt to me. We all know about receipts.
That's a good point.
And that's what I'll take from it. But I'm not throwing Hangman under the bus I'm not, because I don't really know.
Sure.
When we find out, I'll be like, okay, I'll gladly call CM Punk out for doing something wrong if he did something wrong.
Sure.
But I don't like pointing fingers without knowing facts and all that. But I just thought it was interesting that the Sammy Guevara, Eddie Kingston stuff came out, and I was like, well, that makes sense. You getting mad because he talked about something you didn't want him talking about. Okay, I see how you guys do your stuff now.
See, when I took it that, and that's a very good point, and that's why when I was running my mouth about it, I was like, if this is true, and then here's what I feel about it. And what I heard was, again, dirt sheets, it's all going to be different.
Yep.
Chuck is a huge Dave Meltzer fan.
I love his jeans; they're fucking stylish.
Can you ask your buddy Dave to unblock me, please?
Oh, he blocked you?
Yeah, it didn't take much.
I've been trying.
I don't follow him on Twitter.
I don't either.
I don't either, but I've been trying.
You've been trying.
I thought it'd piss him off more that I don't follow him, and I still do.
So now what I heard was, when the CM Punk's little speech was, and then here's some advice you better take. And I read that he was a little pissy about how Paige said in an interview that he doesn't ask for advice from the old timers because he doesn't need it. And that, that I heard that made CM Punk a little pissy in the pants. And probably that, along with what you mentioned, between those things, that's fair.
I just don't think he likes Hangman.
But it's just the fact, that's
right.
why, if the part that he got pissy because he didn't take his advice or say he doesn't need advice from other people, like, fuck you, CM Punk.
I'll agree with you right there. If that was the reason he went out and did that, that is pretty shitty of him to do.
Right.
That is.
But we also touched on this at the Wrestle Buddy podcast this past weekend. Watch it if you haven't, people. That we were talking about how these guys, how it seems like a lot of shit is happening backstage in AEW. And it's like, how can you stop it? You have people like Daniel Bryan, William Reed. You got all these guys who have been here before. They know how this stuff operates. They can help you.
Yep.
These guys need advice. So if they need the advice and they're just like, yo, I don't want it. Piss off. I know what I'm doing. I'm sorry, but all the stuff that we're hearing tells you a completely different story. And
now that's with the majority of the roster. But in Adam's case, he was champion without the advice if he's not taking it.
Yeah.
He got himself over.
I get that.
Because I didn't know who he was until AEW, and I was like, I love that guy. That guy's awesome. So to a point, maybe if he's disrespectful about it, that's one thing.
Yeah.
It's like just because he doesn't want that. Like if he hears your advice, like I don't need that. He knows himself well enough as a performer to know that at this point in his career, and it's worked so far because I fucking love the guy since I never heard of him 3 years ago, but I'm all in. So it just kind of depends.
Pun intended. Oh wait, sorry, this is all out. My bad.
Wrong thing.
Oh man, dude. So you said the backstage drama, like Thunder Rose is hiding in the bathroom from Brett. Like
that's your women's
there's some
division
shit
in the bathroom.
When the AEW
Literally.
first started, and I understand the excitement because I was kind of excited, but there was like those fans that's like it's better than WWE. The idiots on Twitter, right? Like it's gonna be better. It's like
I was hoping
you gotta let it fucking marinate and like let it have a fucking 6-8 month run before you judge it. Like one night's not gonna do anything.
Still better than most of Vince's.
But like Tony Khan just seems to, he needs a guy. Like
agreed.
He needs a guy. He needs a guy or lady that's been in fucking wrestling for a long time to
we need writers
before he does his shit. Those reports are he doesn't listen to town as much as he did initially. That's why they had that big backstage meeting, right? They just had that. Reportedly, they had a big backstage meeting where Kenny was the harshest on the whole roster, right?
Oh boy.
Oh.
But
I'm afraid of that Hobbit.
And to touch on that too, the whole like report on that is so like confusing because you have the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and Tony Khan, the three guys who are supposed to be like the head running this whole thing, and all three of them are giving you completely different ways of handling your business. Tony's like, I'm not going to be a pushover. Kenny's like, get your shit together. And the Young Bucks are like, hey, come see us and we'll help you. And it's like, I'm going to go see the Young Bucks, man, because they're being nice. So it's like, it's very
part in the asylum.
You know, I don't even know who. I'm trying to think of somebody outside of wrestling right now. No, that like they need somebody in the fucking booking room when he's like, hey, we're going to do fucking 800 super kicks and 35.
Yeah, that's rough.
Hey, William Regal. He's already there.
Look, I just Googled something. So
Regal.
Like, apparently,
I like Regal.
What happened with him lately? I guess he was like pissed off about how NXT UK ended, and he went ranting about it. And he was like, the company I work for don't like it. They can fire me. I don't care. So like he was all fired up, but apparently his son's moving to NXT like 2.0.
Oh, there we go.
So
I did see that he tweeted out saying, "Hey, don't snippet my stuff. Watch the whole interview because
I just sorry, William, I snippeted it and I googled it." But
good stuff.
That's what I do. I read the headline and then I go on.
That's generally what I do too.
It's like, oh, so and so happened. I was like, okay, let's go. I believed shit for months that wasn't true just because I read headlines.
That's the idea.
Like I thought Kanye and Pete Davidson were dating for the longest fucking time. And I was like, oh, Kim. But I read it on TMZ.
Really?
But anyway, all right, let's transition to the CM Punk thing. Okay, so like that Triple H promo just sticks in my head every time I think of CM Punk. That promo where he like. Everybody knows which promo I'm referring to.
2011 or so.
I feel like Triple H just nailed it.
If he had a ponytail.
But
he did have a ponytail.
Jimmy, I got some facts.
He did.
All right, I got some too.
I got
Facts down.
I kind of went over some last week in a joking way, but then I found more.
Oh shit.
So I'm going to use ones from last week as well. So CM Punk, okay? Let's compare him to another superstar. CM Punk and R-Truth.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, wow.
That's all.
All right, so CM Punk only thinks about himself.
That's an opinion. That's
that's a fact. They even put narcissist. I ain't going to go that far. R-Truth cares about other people and asks them what's up.
He does.
CM Punk is not friends with Kofi no more. R-Truth is great friends with Kofi.
Vince McMahon's problem.
Kofi had an interview earlier this year, and he said he had no hard feelings about CM Punk, so you got to scratch that one off.
Look, dude, somebody took time to put this together. This is official.
No, CM Punk actually made a point last week where Eddie Kingston's not even the best Kingston he's been.
Quit going against my graphics. Vince McMahon doesn't like CM Punk.
Obviously.
R-Truth can make Vince McMahon laugh.
He does.
CM Punk looks older than Sting.
That's an opinion.
Well, we don't know what Sting looks like.
That's true.
R-Truth is 7 years older than Punk, still looks 30. That's fair.
That is.
Oh, yeah.
And CM Punk is NWA, not wanted by anyone. And R-Truth is a two-time NWA champion. CM Punk lost in UFC. Truth is undefeated in MMA. And I got to move our fucking like banner.
There you go.
CM Punk can't hang out with Cowboy Adam Page. And R-Truth gave one of the best segments with
Brock
Cowboy,
Lesnar.
the real cowboy shit, Brock Lesnar.
Oh, let's not go that.
Hey, when Page drives a goddamn tractor to the ring and lifts it up, then he can be on some Cowboy. I like Adam Page.
To be fair, Cowboys don't drive tractors.
Exactly.
They ride horses in the town.
Ride horses and
Brock Lesnar. What is he?
He's a farmer.
I like this.
Farmer Brock Lesnar.
Now, this one's more
Gary Farmer Brock Lesnar.
I like this one.
Oh, Lord.
CM Punk in the Miz.
I do too. Yeah.
So CM Punk never got to the main event at WrestleMania. The Miz,
love the
John Cena. He got fired on his wedding day.
Yeah, I remember that.
The Miz married Maurice. WWE came and filmed his wedding.
They did. Yep.
He got himself relevant only after they used bad grammar. Got himself relevant only after a scripted promo in which he only complained. The Miz worked all of wrestling into a shoot after that backstage. As that talking smack shit.
That was a good shit.
Yeah,
CM Punk was asked to be a movie and never got in one. He is in one on Netflix that wasn't as bad as I thought.
It wasn't bad. It was pretty good.
He's in another one too on Shudder that you should check out. I don't know the name, but it's pretty good.
I can't hate on his movie. It was actually pretty good. It's a horror movie.
What are you talking about?
It's called The Third Floor.
Yeah,
It's pretty good.
It's
It was
actually
pretty
really
good.
And then the other one he's on Shudder is a vampire movie where he's a small role. He's a sheriff, but it's a good movie. Too.
He's the main character in that one on Netflix. So it's
pretty good.
All
solid.
right. Well, I don't have Shudder, but I have Netflix.
All right. Well, I got to get back into fucking character. Like,
I put it on my
I'm
list.
putting him over.
I have to put it on my
Why
list.
did you get on Netflix during the show? All right.
I'm not on the graphic right now.
His best. All right. He got
Man,
asked to be
Chuck,
in a
you
movie
can't
and
see
never
us.
got put in one. The Miz started to bring 5 and 6.
You did.
And that
Might as
stupid.
well not be a movie. Like, come on.
So that
It
was
is
trash.
good.
All right. His best friend sued him. Miz is great friends with Dolph Ziggler, Zack Ryder, and John Morrison. So, like, you could just see, like, I don't get, like, I liked CM Punk, and then John Cena made him, and then I didn't like him anymore. He's got that look on his face. He already said we will revisit that statement. Look, Cena didn't make him, but like that Summer of Punk doesn't happen without John Cena.
That's just not true.
That is who's big enough in WWE to where that program that he can have John Cena.
The top face at that time would have been the same thing. Whether it was Stone Cold, whether it was The Rock, whether it was John Cena, whoever was the top face, that could have been over on.
It's John Cena.
He's the top face at that time.
It's the Summer of Cena.
I'm going to go ahead and agree with him on this one point. He's right to an extent.
There, and we're moving on.
I'll touch on it. Trust me, I got more to add to it, but he's right.
John Cena's the corporate boy, and that's why it worked. That was the idea.
Fucking disrespectful.
Well, that was the idea.
About the greatest of all time.
If it wasn't John Cena,
Corporate
then
boy.
whoever was the corporate boy at the time.
He's a corporate.
He's not a court. Don't call him a corporate.
He's
boy.
not
he
a
was a corporate
man.
boy.
He's not a man.
Oh,
I'll tell you that.
oh, dude, men wear full-length jeans, not jeans.
It's his
Exactly.
gimmick.
Exactly. I agree with Chuck.
It's his fucking
100%.
gimmick. We
I love
all
it.
wore jean shorts.
Not like John Cena.
I used to
Not
wear
in my 30s.
I used to wear the Echo ones with like the little dog and shit on the back pocket. And I used to wear Fat Farm shoes with the little thing hanging off of
Oh my
it.
god.
I grew up in the wrong neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'll go.
But anyway, go ahead, Jimmy. I know. Look, I've been waiting.
All right.
I'm
So I'm going to touch on 3 things you talked about last week where I can agree with you. All right. The
All right.
first one, John Cena did help make some CM Punk to an extent. CM Punk was right there on the cusp of that main event spot. And it wasn't because he wasn't talented. It wasn't because he wasn't getting over, because he was definitely getting over. You can go back and watch everything. He was getting over. He was in the ring with Shawn Michaels and Triple H at one point, and they were chanting for CM Punk. It was over. But he just never got that push. So you put him in the spot with John Cena. John Cena does put him over. And if you think about it, that's kind of what John Cena's job is when he's the top guy. He's there to help make new stars. CM Punk, he was next in line. He should have been there years ago, but they waited and waited and waited. He finally got there. If you go back and look at all the people John Cena didn't do that for, I think that says a lot about what John Cena thinks about CM Punk. And since I think we're all in agreement here, I know at least you are, Josh, I'm kind of on the John Cena's the GOAT kick right now. I think he's
I mean,
there.
I can argue that. I love to hate on John Cena.
It's like
but,
when-
I'm with Chuck.
yeah.
I agree.
It's
With
like
Chuck.
he's there.
Yeah.
It's why there's that
Hate on it,
disconnect
yeah.
with AEW for me a little bit. Like there isn't AEW, like the Aussie that match last week, the one that Meltzer gave like 82 stars to. Like I feel like I was watching like the U.S. Olympic team. Like you know what I mean?
Lucha
Like,
Brothers are another
you know what I mean?
team I don't like. So
Like I know the one Lucha Brothers like one of the best in the world, Phoenix. He's not like
oh no, if you're looking at like skill wise, yeah, sure, and all that.
I know he's
If you're looking
regarded.
if you're looking at like matches and psychology and all other stuff, no.
Okay, well I mean, all right, so he's
I mean, how many best in the worlds are there? We got CM Punk, we got Shane McMahon, we got Phoenix.
it's Shane McMahon. hey,
He
you
has
want
a
to look?
trophy.
You did it. AEW wants to spice it up. My next article,
There you go.
WrestleBuddy.com. The AEW needs to hire Shane McMahon
There you go.
ASAP.
It'll get viewers.
How do you take Vince's company down?
I'd watch.
His
Yeah.
evil stepbrother, or not stepbrother,
Stepson.
brother-in-law, whatever that is.
Son.
Dude,
Brother-in-law.
imagine that
The
fucking
evil
battle. Tony
stepbrother.
Khan, his big pile of cocaine, and Shane McMahon.
Who also
and
probably
his-
does cocaine.
So we were at the Royal Rumble where apparently Shane went AWOL backstage and started changing all the shit.
He did.
Eliminate Kevin Owens.
And then he comes out and throws out KO.
KO.
What the fuck?
Like he booked himself into the final four. Like,
With Brock Lesnar.
Don't even get me started, bro.
do you know it was reported that Shane McMahon pitched to throw Brock out on his own?
God.
I believe that.
I believe it.
He was trying to go down to the final two.
He was trying.
He was too hardcore for events, even.
He
Like,
was.
like, you gotta go, bro.
Anyway, sorry, got
There
sidetracked.
you go, Shane.
You're good.
Jimmy.
So again, the fact that John Cena is able to look at CM Punk over all those other people he was never cool with putting over, I think speaks volumes about how good and how over CM Punk was. 2, Punk is an asshole. I'm not going to disagree with it at all.
Chicago,
He's an unapologetic asshole. I'm not going to paint him as anything other than that. He speaks his mind. He don't care how it makes you feel. He's just going to tell you what he honestly feels is the truth. I don't know if that's like the asshole that people want to, like the kind of asshole that a lot of people think he is. I think it just makes him just the kind of guy who's real. He's like,
sure,
look, I'm going to tell you what you don't want to hear, and I don't give a fuck what you think about it. I'm just going to tell you how it is. Whether he's right or wrong, I'm not going to argue that, because sometimes he's wrong, 100%.
Everybody is.
I just think he's an unapologetic asshole. But I always look back to this story in particular to basically paint him as the exact opposite of an asshole. Joey Mercury was in rehab. He was about to lose his home.
Yep.
CM Punk wrote this man a 6-figure check to buy his house so that he wouldn't be out on the street with his family.
Yep.
Then he turned around and brought Joey Mercury. He fought to bring Joey Mercury in and get him a job, part of the Straight Edge Society. And now I believe Joey Mercury still works there to this day.
Yeah,
And if CM Punk doesn't stick his neck out and do that for him,
Yeah,
he was part of
absolutely.
JJ
He
Security.
was,
He still
yeah.
is.
exactly. So that's not an asshole to me. That is a great human being, in my opinion.
Right
No,
there.
absolutely.
A great human being who just talks a lot of shit.
Right.
So now that's a great point.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about CM Punk versus Triple H, for example. Talking about
Mhm.
John Cena putting CM Punk over, it was rumored for a long time that Triple H, now he's not a blatant, arrogant asshole, if I can talk, unapologetic asshole like CM Punk is, but it was reported that backstage he'd always, bury people and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
For years and years and years.
And he
Now-
did that during the Summer of Punk, didn't he?
Well,
He did.
but
He did.
so there's CM Punk who just runs his mouth, and then back when Triple H was in that same part of his career, he was burying people backstage politic wise. So you're not hearing it like CM Punk is telling you, but he was doing it reportedly all the time back in his heyday as champion. So
And
who's worse?
As much as I love Triple H now,
Sure,
I hated the man back in the day
same,
for that reason.
same.
He did it to so many people.
Everybody.
And again, there's no reason in the world Triple H should have stepped up during the Summer of Punk and ended it. There's no reason for it. It was bad business. Why do it? Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Absolutely. And so, like, you talk about, like, the who's really worse? Is it the CM Punk who Triple H, was like, well, we bought you this, we bought you that, you're still bitching and moaning.
Yeah.
Well, Triple H got his way all of the time for years and years and years, so he might not even understand where Punk is coming from, because Punk earned it all day long. Triple H was kind of handed. No, he worked his ass off,
He
but
did bust his ass.
he was always there.
He did.
Yeah.
So
He politicked his way into that position. He still worked his ass off, and he's a changed man now. He's not the same person he was.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
definitely.
100%.
changed.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I love Triple H now, but back then, man, I hated him. He fucked Triple H back then. He
Oh,
was
sure.
Chuck hated him too.
Yeah, you did.
dude, I told Triple H when I was in 6th grade that you fucking suck. By the way, real quick, I said this before, but real quick, just so that you don't know, how Triple H always claims he never smokes, never drank, never did any of that shit. That motherfucker got a limousine right in front of me smoking a cigarette. So he's a lying sack of shit. Back in 1999, not many fucking smoked.
He's held a 24-year grudge.
I'm just saying.
I'm going to tweet Triple H. Hey, we need you on RSH. We'll take the cigarette.
Yeah. At the Nutter Center in Dayton, motherfucker. I remember.
Row 7, seat 2.
It was a Saturday night in January.
You
Oh,
liar.
goddamn, dude, you do remember.
It was a very
he
snowy
has a
night.
good memory,
My
though.
dad rode down the hill. It was a very great night.
But
anyway.
All right. So now I'm gonna get you with the third one. I agree with you last week, and you might not understand where I'm going with it. Be patient. Paul Heyman is a genius. All right, I 100% agree with you. One of the top 3 minds the business has ever seen in my time. Okay, who was it? Because WWE brought CM Punk in. They brought him in. They didn't know why. They just said, this guy's a big name on the indies. We're just gonna sign him. Hopefully something happens. He gets there. They're like, we don't know what to do with this guy. Let's just keep him around, and then we'll just get rid of him later, whatever. Paul Heyman is the guy that saw CM Punk and said, he is a megastar. You need to do something with this man. He's the one that fought tooth and nail, whatever the phrase is, I want him on the ECW show that you want me to produce and put together. I think he was the only the only person that wasn't on screen that Paul Heyman said, I want. And he was one of the first names that he threw at Vince and said, I want him on this show. He fought hard for CM Punk because he saw what CM Punk was and what CM Punk could be. And it's far be it from me to disagree with one of the greatest minds. You could even argue he's the greatest mind.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, Tony Khan said he is Paul Heyman.
He wishes.
No, he did. The people he works with say it because they're doing this shit. Chris Jericho.
Oh, yeah.
Makes sense.
It would be crazy for me to try and argue against Paul Heyman of all people say like, nah, CM Punk ain't shit, man. He ain't shit. It would just be crazy.
Yeah.
And to this day, Paul Heyman will tell you how fantastic and great CM Punk
That's a valid point.
was.
And
He's not what he once was. I'm not going to argue that.
Everybody ages.
As far as in the ring goes, as far as the draw, that's what I'm going to hit you with next. All right.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Here we go.
All right, because
Here are the numbers.
Because I don't see it.
Okay, I'm gonna paint the picture.
I don't care about merch sales. Merch sales don't matter to me.
Okay,
Well,
I got more than merch sales. I promise you, I got more than merch sales.
Okay.
All right. So, me, I don't go by television ratings, and I'll tell you why. You have streaming services. You have TNT, the TNT app, TBS app. You have people who watch the shit illegally, and the thing isn't about drawing money. It's about people who watch it.
I watch it illegally. Watch it on YouTube.
That's illegal.
Okay.
No, it's not because they put it out there.
Shit, you watch Hulu. Never mind.
Yeah. So
Never
then
mind.
also, the
What's
next
wrong?
thing we have
I pay
is
for that.
YouTube TV is becoming a much bigger thing. People are watching more.
Yeah.
It is.
That's what I have.
Nielsen ratings don't count.
No,
They don't count that.
I got
So-
Nielsen rings in my pocket right now. I'm not even lying. I'm
So,
a Nielsen Raider right here. That's
so you have like a million people are watching on cable. We don't know how many people are watching on the streaming services, how many people watch on YouTube, how many people are watching it illegally. You don't know. But what I do know is I can look at buy rates for pay-per-views. Prior to the All Out in which CM Punk showed up, the highest buy rate they had was 135,000 for pay-per-view buys. That was the pay-per-view in which they promised to blow up a ring with two people in it
Oh,
shit.
yeah,
and promise a Hall of Fame level mind-blowing signing. Who was one of the names for that people were throwing around? CM Punk. So I it's not a factual statement here, but I have reason to believe that played into some of those buys happening.
sure.
Probably, yeah.
The first pay-per-view after Punk gets back is All Out. Again, the highest they had was 135 earlier that year. Punk shows up, 205,000. That's a big jump.
It is.
As far as needle moving, I'm not talking about he's moving the needle off the charts. That needle moved. So since then, every pay-per-view that CM Punk has been on, every pay-per-view they've had since CM Punk has been there, has been higher than their previous high pre-Punk. The only one that wasn't higher was Forbidden Door. And in case you forgot, CM Punk wasn't on that pay-per-view. So if you just look at the pay-per-view buy rates alone,
That's fair.
that needle moves. He's a draw. 2, I am going to touch on the merchandise sales for a minute, but I'm not just going to focus on now. I'm going to focus on the whole picture.
Sure.
For, what is it? I got it right here. 4 months straight, he was the highest selling thing on PWTs.com, which isn't just AEW, it's indies, which I know that's not a big deal, but it's also Legends. Scott Hall stuff's on there. Kevin, a bunch of stuff's on there. 4 months straight, he was number 1. The first month, he sold over 100,000 T-shirts.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's Roman Reigns numbers right there as far as merch sales.
Sure.
But if we want to look at his merch sales all time, where'd this go? He has one of the best-selling T-shirts in the history of professional wrestling. I'm sure one of you guys have it too.
I have
It's a version of this one. Yeah, there you go.
I have like
Yeah.
3 of his. I was a good guy.
I was.
I get it.
Long
too.
time.
Yeah, I was too.
His shirt, that T-shirt, is up there with the Austin 316, the NWO, and the Bullet Club as far as sales go.
Who the
Wow.
fuck
That's
is
that's insane. That's insane to me. I didn't even know this until I was looking this up. I knew he was pushing stuff.
How? Where's
Yeah,
Bullet
that's fair.
Club rank? Hopefully, it's 4th. Who?
I don't know the exact rankings.
Popular
I
over-
just- But even so, Bullet Club's been around for so long, and
Not
it's
the
big in
same.
New Japan. It's big in Japan, so I'm sure
That
they
must
sell
be
a lot over there.
overseas. I don't see.
The indie fans, they're just gonna buy it all day.
They sell those at Hot Topic.
Yeah, they do.
They
But
do.
to be on the same category as Austin 316 and NWO
It's huge.
is massive.
That's
And
a match
that-
I always wanted.
I don't think there's any possible way you could claim this man was ever or at the very least the most overrated person
Right.
in the history of wrestling.
I
In
mean,
ring.
You did listen.
I think
did.
I know that by
I
few
listened
of
to
my
your show,
wrestling-
man. I came prepared for this.
I saw.
He did.
dropping mic bomb, motherfucker.
I was ready. I told you I was coming for blood.
He's
Here.
ready. He is.
Okay.
As far as in the ring goes,
Well,
he's
sure.
not the big guy that's gonna throw people around like a Big Show, Kevin Nash. That's not his
not about
style.
that.
He's not doing the flippy dippies and all that bullshit that you see the Young Bucks and Lucha Brothers do.
Yep.
He's not even a Seth Rollins levels in ring guy. 100%. What he does better than I would say about 90% of the wrestlers though is his in-ring psychology, and
His microphone.
I won't even talk to anybody who disagrees with the microphone skills. I don't even listen to it.
Right.
Crazy.
Hey, he cut the second best promo on AEW.
Oh, for,
What's that?
He cuts the second best promo on AEW
I'm not going to disagree with that.
because
I agree.
MJF is number one. I hope that's what you're
Yeah,
going.
he's number one all the way.
I'm not disagreeing with that at all.
high.
I'm not disagreeing with that at all. MJF
told
is a
her, too.
special mic talent. 100%.
I just rewatched that the other day too. They're fucking like with the first time where like Punk walked by him and pissed off MJF and they went at each other for like that 15-minute
Mhm.
segment of fucking gold. Like that's
beautiful.
I think AEW is also a reason why Punk, like, I just don't care about Punk. Like you said, like his match placement. Like I think he's been used incorrectly since he's been in AEW.
I'm not going to disagree with that. I think that a lot of it has to do with placement. If
Like-
I tune in to watch AEW show and you have him as the first show, as the first match on the show,
What are you staying for?
you give me a reason to just tune out afterwards if I'm there to watch CM Punk. If you put him on at the top of the first hour or the second hour, or you put him in the main event or something like that, main event's kind of sketchy because I could just tune in at the end.
Sure.
If you put him on in the middle of the show, I have to sit there and wait for it.
But
And
like use the WWE approach, like we talked about with Roman. Sprinkle the motherfucker in throughout the
Yep.
show. Like
Build him
Roman's
up
at the
inside
beginning.
though.
Exactly.
And then later
Yep.
you have a segment with Sami Zayn.
Exactly.
Then later the Usos are doing
Yep.
some shit.
Mhm.
Have Punk backstage talking
That's
to the
what you
Dark
do
Order
it,
about
yeah.
Adam Page. Then have Punk be confronted by the fucking dude that wears the mask in the Dark Order. Then have
Yeah.
the little kid confront him. Like just sprinkle him in throughout the whole show to where
Yeah.
you can't turn him off.
Do you guys remember when Austin like took out all of DX throughout the night?
Yeah, like-
individually?
Yeah.
And I was
Like,
always
that's-
waiting, like
exactly.
when
That's how you
when
do
am I
it.
seeing Roman again? When is Austin popping
Yep.
back? Where the fuck is The Rock? Who's he gonna like? Which
Right.
backstage announcer is he gonna destroy next?
Yeah.
Or
So
Michael
right.
Cole and
we can
coach.
point our fingers at someone else. Not
Like-
Phil.
Maybe him being the most overrated wrestler. I do think he's a top 15 overrated like wrestler of all time.
Well, John
I
Cena's
did.
13 then.
No, John Cena's
No.
not. John Cena's. Look, if you want to talk about wrestling ability, I think John Cena is a underrated
Oh,
wrestler
Lord have mercy.
because I think he's better in the ring than people give him
I'm
credit.
glad you brought this up because I got one more thing as far as the in-ring goes.
Let's hear it.
I think he's
We're
great.
touching on John Cena.
Uh-oh.
If we were to go to Cage, I'm not going by Dave Meltzer's 5-star bullshit.
We live and die by that here.
It's one man's opinion. I'm gonna go by cage match though. These are voted on by fans who watch the show. Fans
Okay.
who watch the matches, they vote on it and they say, "Hey, this is the match I like. This is the match I don't like." I don't know how many fans voted. I know it's hundreds, thousands, something along that. I can't give you an exact number.
Sure.
I will say, if we were to go to John Cena's top 10 matches all time, what would you think is the number one?
It's him and Punk.
Uh,
Money in the Bank.
Question now: who do you think is number two?
JBL at WrestleMania
CM
21.
Punk.
Oh, well, shit.
CM Punk gave John Cena his two best matches, and then he's there again at number 6. So for CM Punk to be
Fair
there,
enough.
giving John Cena his top 2 matches, and then another in that top 10, and then the rest is like Cesaro. I think
Sure.
JBL's in there.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
You
nostalgia.
can't discredit CM Punk in the ring because I'm not gonna say he carried him.
Look, don't because John Cena finally gave CM Punk some good wrestling matches. Like
No, because we could go into CM Punk's top 10 and
I'm
it's
kidding.
sprinkled
I'm
with
kidding.
all sorts of people.
I agree. I agree. Look, that Money in the Bank match is one of my favorite matches.
It's a
and I'm
great
the biggest
match,
John Cena
100%.
fan you'll ever meet, and I was rooting for Punk to win.
You were.
What happened after is why I
Triple
started.
H buried him, and then he got pissed, and I agree with him
That's
100%.
I agree.
I'll ask you this right now. With how that CM Punk Summer of Punk was going, can you honestly sit here and tell me that Triple H beating him was the right call?
It was not at all.
No.
It was fucking stupid.
Exactly. So why would he have a good attitude moving forward if the man who is helping write the show and control the stuff completely buried the biggest push of your life?
It has a history of burying people as well.
Yeah,
So it's
like how could you go to work every day after that being like, you know what, I'm happy to be here? It's like, yo, this guy just
and then you got Kevin Nash in it. Like, what the fuck? The dude can't even walk. He's
Hey.
out here in his mouth.
That was a great surprise.
Well, that CM Punk's little thing was awesome because he
Yeah,
made himself
CM Punk's
over.
promo was great.
Yeah, but like the fact that Nash was even there in the first place. I got a text. What the fuck? Sit down, you dinosaur.
All right, yeah.
Anyway.
Look,
You
and I blame
dinosaur.
Vince for some of that
Lord.
because
Yeah, that
the
was-
storytelling
Then
for
Buck
some of
stops
that
here.
wasn't good,
Yep.
and I can understand Punk getting frustrated. But like, I guess it's just how people are wired because you see wrestlers nowadays that are disgruntled, but like they go out there, they do their shit, like it is what it is. Or you have Naomi and Sasha Banks where you're like, fuck you, throw the titles and run off. And like, that's where I lost respect though. Like, I get he was unhappy. I get he didn't like his spot.
now I can add to that as well.
But I don't think him losing to Triple H at WrestleMania or whatever the fuck was going to happen, like losing to Zack Ryder on fucking the pre-show. Like, I don't think like that was the biggest kick in the balls. Yeah, they didn't like each other, and I'm sure he didn't want to lose to him. But like,
It was bad for business.
was running off. I agree with all that, but is running off really the best thing to do?
Here, I'll add to that because he didn't run off right after that. He stuck around for a few years.
I know, but like,
Till
And
January.
then what happened during those next few years? He still remained one of the hottest dudes in the business. And then he had to basically go be fodder for literally every single part-time person they brought in. Can you name me another talent that lays down for every single part-timer that comes in?
I know the Rock thing really fucking soured
I think the
him.
Batista was
He actually likes The Rock. He didn't like him before, and he doesn't hold a grudge against The Rock because he made good money with The Rock.
Oh
But
yeah,
he didn't agree with the decision, and I can't say I disagree with him.
Oh,
Did Rock John Cena need a title? No.
No, it didn't.
just like Roman and the Rock doesn't fucking need a
They
title
don't need
either.
a
Exactly.
title.
So why would you take that from that man after he just?
So you're right.
So I forgot I was going there for a second. Give me 1 minute. Oh, okay. So the whole stuff with he got eliminated from that Royal Rumble the night before he quit.
Mhm.
He was literally on the floor begging for a doctor to come see him because he just knew something was wrong. And the doctor said, "Man, just get up. We can't do anything for you." That's a bullshit thing to do to somebody if they're literally begging for you to come help them. Then he comes to find out that he's had a problem, a bump on his back, and the doctor that he went to see after the fact said, "Dude, you should be dead right now because of negligence."
Yep.
I add all that stuff up, bro. If I worked for a company that treated me like that, I'm walking the fuck out too.
No,
and I
look
really
at-
hope everyone in this world would do the same.
Absolutely.
You don't put your life on the line for anybody.
Absolutely.
It was nonsense. It was bullshit. And again, there's a lot of reasons people cannot like CM Punk, but for walking out because he's tired of just being dealt with, like being treated like shit, I can't. Again, I hope everyone would do that. Like if you're being treated that way, don't stick around with somebody who's just using you and treating you like fuck that.
Literally
Make
killing you.
it
Make
Right.
money.
So I mean, this is going to be a future thing that we see, and we'll watch it unfold. I mean, I'll watch it on Twitter, but you guys will watch it unfold.
I'll watch it on YouTube if I
What
care.
if he quits AEW? There's reports, and I know you don't believe the dirt sheets, but like
I don't believe that either. I really don't.
they're like hit or miss with me, 50-50. Like,
Same. This report, I don't.
but there's
agree with.
reports that he's fucking done. Like he's got money, he doesn't fucking really care. Like he'll leave. What if he quits AEW?
Question for you. What are your opinions on FTR? Because I honestly think these guys are very real and they'll call shit out. They have no issues ruffling feathers.
I don't like FTR. I don't care much for them.
I don't care
I
either.
think
As far as wrestling, I'm not concerned about that. But as far as
Okay,
like
just
how they handle
general,
business,
I don't know. About him.
they're like they seem to like they know what the fuck they're doing.
exactly. They've literally come out just recently and said, "Yo, we definitely should have been fighting." Like they will definitely step up and say Tony Khan is doing something dumb. They have no issue with calling shit out when it does. I like that. They're real. They're very similar to Punk in that aspect.
Well, you know why?
Mhm.
Because they get fired and then go back to WWE where Triple H is in charge.
Everyone likes him.
And
They're
look, WWE will even put them in their video game.
I won't touch on that because I've just heard nonsense about that. But yeah, FTR recently just did an interview in which they said people can listen to all this nonsense about CM Punk all they want, but what they're not hearing because those are better headlines. CM Punk wants to quit.
It's,
CM
yeah,
Punk's
it's
doing
all
this.
clickbait. It's all
They're
clickbait.
better headlines than what's really happening. Like when Brock fucking Anderson is going up to CM Punk saying, "Hey, can you watch my match?" And instead of getting ready for his segment and all that, he goes, "You know what? Yeah." He sits down, he watches his match, and then he helps him afterwards. It's not a better headline than Will Hobbs going into his locker room for 30 to 45 minutes, and where CM Punk is helping him break down and how to do this better and how to get better at this and this and this. He's literally helping the talent. If he wasn't happy, why would he do it?
Sure.
And like, it just, why would he do it? And he doesn't need to be in AEW. People's like, oh, he need money. The John Moxley man, you came back because you ran out of money. His merchandise is on PWTs. People are going to buy it regardless. He don't need the money. As you said, he's got movies he does.
Oh, dude,
Yeah, he does.
that's got to be our part too, because John Moxley is on that top most overrated wrestler list as well. Punk's
Another day, another dollar. I'll
I mean,
look
look,
at
he
that
is the
100%.
worst member of the Shield,
Hey, I like John
and
Moxley.
he might be
Hush.
the best
I like
person
him.
in his group now.
I like Moxley.
Dude, that Punk's line about Moxley was so fucking good, though.
Yeah.
He
He's like-
murdered him in that ring. As
Dude,
my
like,
friend said,
on
why
the
did
match,
Moxley
he's
even
great.
show up?
That's why I like AEW's promos, because they let him go that extra mile. But
Mm-hmm.
then you watch Raw and Riddle's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. It's like, oh shit.
Oh,
Yeah, things have changed over there. Things have changed over
Yeah,
there.
it did.
Holy shit.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, I can believe that. I was sitting there working. What the fuck?
So I
What did he say?
will gracefully now bow out. That's my CM Punk argument for you. I think I touched on everything that you touched on last week.
So, like,
Counteracted it. And if I had the microphone, I'd drop it right now.
You dropped
so
it
we
on
both
there.
said our
I'll do
shit.
it for you.
So let's end
Give
the
me half.
let's end the CM Punk thing on this note before we get to the fucking clash. What's next? What's going to happen? Like tonight, Moxley's got a promo. What do you see happening next with Punk? He just got squashed. Rumors are galore. What do you think is next?
I think CM Punk should be gone for like 2-3 months.
Sure.
But he'll probably be back tonight and challenge Mox all out. And
I saw your picture.
I'm
Where
not
was
not
he
for
there?
that.
What is
I-
that
I
about?
saw your picture on Twitter, and you said, "I guess he won't be on Dynamite." And I said he took his ball and went home, and you laughed at it.
It's funny. I laugh at funny shit, man. I laugh
I know,
at
but
funny
like,
shit.
where do you think he's actually going to be there tonight?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes.
What
He
I hope
probably-
is Moxley's out there talking shit, then MJF's music hits, and that's what we get it all out. And Punk stays away for a few months.
I wouldn't want to see it just because I think it wouldn't make sense for MJF to do that either. But I think CM Punk comes, he challenges him all out, and he probably wins. And I think that's a dumb decision. 100% shouldn't happen.
If that happens, what kind of booking is that? We're gonna have a
Exactly.
title match 2 weeks before the pay-per-view, and then we're
Exactly.
gonna run it here at pay-per-view.
And the
Like,
MJF shit writes itself. He'll come out and he's like, Moxley, like, I fucking try to get a new contract here. The fucking idiot owner has people crying in the fucking bathroom. Everything around here's
I mean, to be fair,
legit. Like,
Vince
He
has
does.
done
have
that,
him
too.
come out and cut the
does.
realest fucking promo ever.
Yeah, he will.
It's MJF. Like, he won't. I can't make no more fucking money here unless I win that.
Sure.
And I'm fucking sick of being underpaid. I'm sick of you WWE guys. Fucking let him go at Moxley. Like, I'm
Yeah.
taking that from you Sunday, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And try to stop me. And then you're sold.
I'll tell you what, if I'm fantasy booking tonight's segment in All Out main event, I have Punk come out and he challenges Mox. He says, I have a match for you at All Out. And he gets Mox to agree with it. I have MJF come out afterwards, aligned with CM Punk. And then that's how you get Mox versus MJF, in which it somewhat makes sense. And it also keeps CM Punk on TV without having to force him back in there after he just got fucking murdered. Because it wouldn't make sense for him to come back at All Out and wrestle. It just doesn't. It's just dumb.
I
I
got
did the Steph's Kiss a lot. It's the exact opposite of that. It's dumb as shit. It'd be the second dumbest thing they've ever done as far as booking goes.
Yeah.
What's the first thing?
The CM Punk Mox match last week.
Oh, okay. No,
That was terrible.
I still think of the guys cuddling in the ring when it was supposed to explode was stupid.
Yeah, that's very rough.
I mean,
I
that's
think we can.
That was stupid.
I look at booking and botching as completely two different
okay,
things.
that's fair.
That's
That's
fair.
fair.
But go ahead.
My fantasy match, talking about all this, kind of made me, the mice is running up here. And so let's say CM Punk does come back tonight, gets in the ring. Oh, we're gonna fight on Sunday. Their little speeches. MJF comes out and just fucking murders CM Punk.
I'm not against that either.
And takes that spot on Sunday.
Takes him out,
Dude, that was
takes him off TV
Yep.
for a
I'm not
while.
against that idea at all.
That might be that
like
might
that.
be the
I
best.
did too. I
No,
like
look,
that
we
idea.
combine it. He comes out, beats the fuck out of Punk, then cuts that promo I said about Mox, and then there you go.
Kind of like how I
You
said
need
last
something
week.
to sell that pay-per-view, like you
They
said at the
do.
beginning, dude. They need to sell that.
I do.
Yeah.
Like, you're not even buying Like you're just like sell. Like this is their. You said this is their last shot to sell this to you, right?
Yep.
To be fair, yeah, absolutely. And to be fair, I know Tony Khan talks a lot of shit. He did say earlier today that this will be the most chaotic go-home show they've ever had.
He said,
Sure, he says that every week though.
Well, no, so he does. He says a lot of dumb shit. I'm not disagreeing with you, but their go-home shows usually kind of fall flat to me. So if he's coming out selling this as a real go-home show, again, that kind of helps build the excitement for me tonight. Okay, what are you gonna give me? And if he falls flat on his face again, strike two. You don't. You're very close to me not wanting to watch a show every week again.
Yeah, I get that. Like I do. I want AEW to be successful all day long, but he just always has the next best thing is coming every time, and it's like I've stopped. The boy who cried wolf. I'm kind of over.
Yeah.
Anything he says.
Oh, speaking of my the con of the week.
Oh, here we go. Yep.
My favorite segment.
Yep.
He tweets out after Monday Night Raw, which obviously he was watching because he tweeted out at like 11:08.
Oh Lord.
This is what I've been waiting for. So the over-exaggeration of the idiots on Twitter about Raquel Gonzalez, or what's her name? Raquel Rodriguez now.
Raquel Rodriguez, yeah.
Winning the championships. That is the break you're waiting for, you coke-headed idiot. Like,
Exactly.
what are you going to do? Like, what did...
That could just be very coincidental timing.
Yeah, like, no, he just watched Raw because he's
I
probably...
know.
He's sitting at home with his mountain of cocaine and his 7 laptops, and he's on one of them, he's mismanaging the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That's his dad.
On one of them, he's mismanaging that soccer team he owns.
Yep.
They
And on
don't
the other
do
one-
anything for the Jaguars.
And on the other one, fantasy football draft, he's not going to win. And on the other one, he's got a picture of him and Paul Heyman next to each other. But then you get all the way to his other one. He's watching old episodes of Nitro because that's how he booked shows. That's what he said when he first started. But that's my con of the week. What the fuck you going to do? I tweeted at him and asked him, like, what are you going to do? Sign more XOD people, then put them on dark? Or are you going to have more people hiding in the bathroom? You have to create your 85th interim champion. But that's my con of the week. Last week, it was the Paul Heyman thing, which is absolutely ridiculous.
That was ridiculous.
He never said that.
Don't defend Tony Khan.
I'm just saying he
I'm
never.
not I don't want to defend the man either, but he definitely didn't say
Don't
it.
defend that face.
We don't want to have.
I mean, if he
nightmares.
did say it, it was backstage, and that's not real.
Well, I do give Cesaro a shout out for doing the Make-A-Wish with him.
Every week, I love it.
That's rough. That's really rough.
Anyway, all right, Jimmy. That was now Moxley's next.
Oh,
Lord.
I don't understand.
Get ready.
And also the song Wild Thing fucking sucks.
I love it.
So,
I love that. I like
I'm
that.
with you all day.
Like,
I like it.
I love Major League as much as the next guy. That song's fucking trash. But anyway, that's for a different day.
Outside
Wild
of personality,
Wild Thing hits differently when you're there live. I'll say
Sure.
that.
I
Now, look,
believe
I'll tell
that,
you,
but,
Moxley using Wild Thing and then
it's
Miz
silly. It's
using the
silly.
big balls like thing
That's also
to
silly.
put over his shirt.
Yeah,
I think that's funny.
I think it's silly.
It is funny, but it's silly.
But I do love the Major League references in 2022.
all right. The wild. I hate outside of cult of personality. I do like that for CM Punk. Outside of that, I hate real songs being professional wrestling.
I'm
references.
okay with CM Punk liking
Rebel Heart?
that.
What's that?
Rebel Heart? For Johnny Gargano?
Yeah, I don't care about it. Same thing with
Who
Ruby.
this man?
With
He
Ruby.
doesn't. He doesn't really watch NXT.
Okay.
He's
okay.
I don't like real music being entrances.
I got
You
you.
have your own personality, Have
It has to fit perfectly.
make your own music.
When
And that may be.
But when Cult of Personality comes on, and one of my friends goes, "Man, that CM Punk theme song," it's like, "No, motherfucker, that was really popular
Yeah.
before
Right.
CM Punk was
and,
around."
and that one I think kind of fits CM Punk. And
But,
that's
hey,
the only one I get the exception to.
Right.
But like, dude, like Wild Things, I heard that the other day. I was watching his shit on YouTube. I'm like, what the fuck?
I
It's
like
fucking
it. For
stupid.
him, I like it.
But
I
anyway,
enjoy it.
and I like John Moxley, but that's a stupid entrance in my opinion. Stupid.
Jimmy's like, "Fuck you guys."
I'm not even a big fan of Moxley. I'm not.
That's fair.
I agree with the Wild Thing. It doesn't really, on television, it doesn't work. But again, when I'm live and I hear it and I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, this is cool. It's
How
an
many
environmental thing.
OWs?
That's fair, I guess, but you're trying to sell it to your TV audience because that's who you get your fucking ratings from.
Especially-
But yeah, I
mean,
get it. I
see,
get it.
they
I get
do
it.
got their shit coming up soon. Like
They
they
do.
gotta re-up. So this is like a critical time.
I don't know, man.
This is like a bad time for them to be having all this drama.
Yeah, that's my biggest gripe is that the timing of everything is just horrible.
Because like they're trying to get a
Mhm.
streaming service that didn't really work
Yeah.
out yet,
Yeah.
and like they're trying to get a new TV deal, and now they want to add an all-women show if their women's segments were
Oh my
terrible
God.
enough.
That's
Let's
not
make a
good.
show
Their
of it.
division's
Yeah.
garbage. I
But-
wouldn't go that far.
Well, the only show that matters on Wednesday nights is Big Brother anyway, but that's beside the point.
That show's
Kyle.
still on.
Kyle, 24, unemployed. My favorite character.
That
That's
show
what it
is
said.
still on.
It said his name, Kyle, 24 years old, and he's unemployed, and he's
forgot.
sleeping with the hottest girl in the house.
That's
I
how
don't
you do it.
understand it. But yes, it's on season 24.
for
Players got game, man.
Anyway,
Oh, for God's
let's
sakes.
get back to relevant things, even though Big Brother, I have to watch that tonight.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Yvonne and her great artistic ability. The RSH Money in the Bank briefcase has been
in limbo.
was forgotten. It's like the 24/7
Yeah, we
title.
kept tying.
Well,
and
she
tying.
never cashed
But we
in.
bought it back.
But we're over with the old
You
news
can't
there.
cash in when I never lose. But
That is true.
Our
we
Money
tie
in the
too
Bank,
much.
the RSH Money in the Bank, which can be redeemed for
Yep.
1 year.
We'll be on the line again this Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard
And there
Time.
will be no ties.
And then for the first time ever, non-title. Look, this ain't AEW. You just don't show up and earn shit around here. You got to earn it. Look, I need to find a woman that I can look at the way I look at my belt in this picture.
Oh, for...
That doesn't
Put
exist.
Billie Eilish's
Jimmy
face on that
Bebe
title.
and me, last man standing. I was like,
Yep.
I told her, I was like, are we going to like physically fight?
No,
But, hey, but look, it
it
sells.
just fit both of you.
Look, it sold this
That just
episode.
fit.
There's
It
like
did.
0 people watching right now.
Damn.
But it doesn't matter. People don't watch live.
They just like
They don't.
AEW, they
Dude,
watch
it's
later.
nuts.
It's
No.
usually illegally.
I'll wake up tomorrow.
Via streaming.
No, I wake up tomorrow with like 87 notifications on Twitter of people commenting about the stupid shit I
Yep.
say. That's great. But so let's get the clash.
I'm excited for it, man. I
Before
really am.
I was about to ask, what's your gut from 1 to 10? What's your level of excitement for this show? It's Triple H's first pay-per-view.
That's what I'm saying. Now,
Premium live event.
if this was, what's his name said pay-per-view the other day?
Oh shit, you're allowed to say pay-per-view again?
Kurt Angle said it.
Oh, he did. Yeah, he did.
So,
Well, Kurt, was that before he drank that lean with the Street Profits or after?
that 2% will get you. So I'm going to put it in this way. If Vince was still in charge and nothing was different, I probably wouldn't even care about watching it. I probably forgot about it already.
You wouldn't watch it.
With the fact that Triple H is in charge and that they did a good job this past week on Raw and SmackDown.
They built
They
all this
did.
shit up.
We're doing our Halloween shit this weekend. My wife and I. I'm gonna tell her to simmer down for a couple hours as I watch this shit, and I'm pumped for it. I think it's gonna be.
It's gonna be good.
I think it has the potential to be like a 8 out of 10 pay-per-view
Yeah.
for a Saturday afternoon.
And
The Saturday afternoon thing appeals to me
Yeah.
because it's 1 o'clock. I can watch if it's 3 or 4 hours. I don't really care.
Oh,
It's Saturday afternoon,
Great excuse to drink early.
and
am I
then
right?
I have the rest of my day when it's over. And then I got Worlds Collide, which might be better than I don't know.
I don't
Worlds
know.
Collide's got a fucking stack card,
They do stack.
and then that AEW shit Sunday night. But we
I won't- I'm
already talked about it.
we won't be
Yeah,
watching
I'm
that.
too broke
no.
for that, but
We
All
won't
right,
be watching
Yvonne, what's your excitement level?
I got 8, 9.
Well, there's the badass art.
With Roman on it. With
Look, I like how the
why is
people-
Cody there?
Because they
That's the original poster.
and Becky.
yeah, why are they
Well,
both
they
there?
didn't change the post. Triple H has a lot going on. You can't change posters.
Why are they there?
I'm at like a 7,
Sure.
All right.
but I will be participating with Bud Light and hanging out on my couch early in the day. Jimmy, what's your level of excitement?
I'm gonna say a 9. I'm really pumped. I
Yep.
love the afternoon pay-per-views.
So is the match
Yeah.
everybody's looking forward to the most Gunther and Sheamus? Is that unanimous?
Kinda.
Yeah,
Okay.
kind
I
of.
think it's gonna be unexpected.
I feel like it's
Yeah.
Gunther and Sheamus,
Yep.
Riddle and Rollins,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Drew and
Oh,
Roman
yeah.
are like the 3. Everybody's like,
Yep.
yep, those are the matches.
Riddle and Rollins is number 1 for me after this past month.
After that promo,
that's fair.
Yeah, after
That might
part,
get real.
yeah.
that's
So
going too big.
and
Yeah, real.
Jimmy was talking about that on his podcast after because I commented and I was like, I like how they brought in the real life drama because they
Yep.
didn't like each other because Seth's Riddle's wife said
Right.
something about
Right in her
Becky
mouth. Yep.
and like Seth wasn't happy about it and there was rumors that like that's why Seth
He'd
sacrificed
apologize.
himself at Survivor Series when Riddle was in the
Refused
on the other
to
team.
work with them.
yeah because he was like I'm not working with this fucker and Vince was like okay well you're gonna get knocked out he's like cool make sure my check clears bitch like that's
I'll
Seth,
still be- I'll
Seth
still be
is
there.
so like if you do power rankings of like wrestlers, he's
At
my
that
number
level.
1.
Absolutely.
He's always going to be my number until he stops.
I have a number 2 right now, but yeah.
But like,
Sure.
is Punk number 1?
No, Sami Zayn's number 1 right now.
Okay,
Oh,
all right,
that's
no
what
arguments
I like
here.
that.
We're going
No
to get to
argument.
Sami Zayn.
Bloodline, man. You can't argue that
dude,
shit.
did you
No.
see him make them break character on
Yeah.
SmackDown when he did his
He did.
dance? And like the Usos are like,
Even Jay was laughing. He was
yeah,
like,
Jay's supposed to hate him, and Jay's like,
He's sitting there laughing like, yeah.
Sami Zayn might be the most talented
Absolutely.
performer they have.
He is. Absolutely.
Like,
KO said that.
He
Man,
did.
he said you're one of the best performers of all time.
He is.
Dude, when Sammy Haluva kicks Roman the fucking fans, like
They're
I get
nuts.
chills thinking of like that pop. That's gonna be the best storyline of 2023.
It is.
Is KO and Sammy winning the tag titles at WrestleMania.
Absolutely.
So we all think that Reigns is going to turn on Sammy. I want Sammy to turn on fucking Roman Reigns.
He is. He's going to.
He's going
I think
to.
so too.
He's going
I think
to.
They're gonna beat down Kevin Owens, and then Sami Zayn's gonna step in and be like, "Hey guys, let's not do that." And then that's how I think it happened.
Well, they started it Monday.
They did.
Let's hit him with the chair, and he's like, "Nah," and they're like, "What the fuck?" So like,
It's going to be like when the Sith is taking out Luke Skywalker and Darth is looking back and forth.
Yep.
And then just takes out fucking Roman Reigns.
I've never seen Star Wars.
I haven't either.
Unbelievable. All right.
All
Anyway,
right, Greca.
no, like,
LaGreca, I love, dude. I've been trying to get LaGreca on this show.
I don't know what that is.
Bro, don't do that.
What is it?
You don't like LaGreca?
That man is a bitch.
Oh my god,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Dave,
I used to love Dave LaGreca.
What I'm
Man,
saying-
he is such a
That guy.
he's such an AW shill now. Fuck him.
he is. It does hinder
The gender.
my. Don't bring the future Hall of Famer Jinder Mahal into this.
Don't gross. Don't
One of
say
the most
that.
underrated tyrants of the last 10 years.
Oh,
But anyway,
knock it off.
no, they are AEW heavy, and that's why I can't listen as often. But like when they do like Raw reviews and shit, I'll still listen. But like he does blow AEW.
Yeah, I used to love LaGreca, but again, there's this one day. I guess the check started coming in the mail. He's like,
Yeah,
you know what? WWE sucks, and Tony
Yeah.
Khan is the greatest genius of all. And I was like,
Yeah.
all right, bye, LaGreca. See you.
Yeah, he tweeted out during this Raw, like, this has been a great Raw so far. And it was like 8 minutes left, and it's like, you fucking
Like, where have
lied.
you been for the past like?
Right. Seriously.
Yeah, so the Triple H effect's still doing good, right?
Absolutely.
Like because Raw, these shows, the match
Yeah.
placement,
Killing it.
everybody's getting their names back. The
Yep.
US and IC title are relevant. NXT was apparently great last night
It
because
was
all the
great.
former NXT people came back and was like talking to they made Worlds Collide matter.
It
Right.
did. Man,
Like, hey,
mattered.
Walter told him like you're representing European wrestling. Like
Yeah.
if you lose, you're letting your whole country
Yeah.
down. When coincidentally WWE's about to do Europe here soon. So
Right. Yep.
or eventually.
That's imagine Vince at home.
Yeah.
just
I'm
fucking-
excited for both shows.
I am too.
I might not be able to watch Worlds Collide live. It is Labor Day weekend. I forgot I'm off Monday, so I don't know what kind of shit I'll be getting.
I'm off Friday and
Sunday,
Monday. I'm pumped.
but I
Yep.
will be watching this live. So
I will too.
I put these in order of the match placement I would use. So we'll start with Gunther and Sheamus. Who y'all got? Start with Jimmy's the guest, and we'll start with him.
Yeah, start with Jimmy.
I can't go against Gunther. That man shouldn't lose until WrestleMania. Honestly,
That's-
Absolutely.
I'm with you. I think the title's not going to change. It's going to be a hell of a match,
Oh,
but
yeah.
Gunther's got it. And it might be because of Pete Dunne will probably get involved a little bit.
I think
he will
the
too.
spoilers on SmackDown Friday, he is going to be in his bruiserweight attire.
Uh-oh.
So
yeah.
There we go.
that's a fucking good sign. Like Triple H is not fucking around. Like
He's
he's
not.
doing all of these things
He
real
is.
fast.
like quick. He's like,
Quick.
you're Austin Theory again. Gargano, get your ass back here. Cross, get your ass back here. Like that Thanos thing's running out of fucking spots.
It is.
Because
By the way-
when the Fiend comes and takes the main one, that's when it's complete.
It's complete.
By the way, all your names, they're restored. It's
Yeah,
fine.
I'm
You
going.
got your names back.
All right, so the Money in the Bank people, both Gunther.
That's us.
Gunther. Yep, that's us.
Yeah, that's I got
Baby,
Gunther.
baby, I'm taking Gunther as well.
Gunther.
I'd be shocked if nobody did take Gunther. So I ain't.
I know.
This has to
I
be the
can't
first
pick
match,
against him. I
and they're
can't.
going to beat the living hell out
It's
of each
gonna
other.
be. It's gonna be.
Sheamus is going to be red as fuck,
It's gonna be
and
He
slobbered
will,
out.
yeah.
those chops.
Ooh, those are tough.
I
know
know
it's
it still
funny.
hurts.
I
from
told you,
when I
Jimmy.
saw him.
Chuck doesn't really watch NXT. Me and Yvonne watch it religiously.
Yeah.
He knew about Walter and his chops. Though.
I love.
Yeah.
He seen the Adam Cole thing and was like, "What the fuck was that?" When he like
Bro.
karate chopped
Yeah.
Adam Cole in half.
Yeah.
That knocked me out of my soul.
My chest still hurts from it. You know, it's crazy.
Woo.
All right. So
If
then,
there's- Sheamus is like the number 2 guy I want to see Walter chop. So I can't wait to see his chest after it. The only other person I'd want to see him chop is Daniel Bryan because that man
Yeah.
just bleeds
Yeah.
everywhere.
He
when
takes
gets
it.
chopped.
Yes.
And like, dude, and like Sheamus is known to be like a hard hitting.
Yeah.
Like Big
Yeah.
Show said
He
he
is.
loved working with him because he's just a hard hitting.
Yeah.
It's gonna be rough. And Walter's the same way. So hell yeah.
so nobody thinks this is where Sheamus gets his Grand Slam. 'Cause He just
Nah.
needs the IC
No.
title.
Not yet.
Okay, fair enough.
At
He'll,
some
he'll
point.
get it eventually,
My
At
but
some
prediction,
point.
which you can find at WrestleBuddy.com. My article just went live this morning.
hell yeah.
I got Pete Dunne or Butch right now,
Sure.
freaking the fuck out, and Rich Holland can't hold him back at the end, and him and Walter get in like an altercation
Yep.
or like face to face, and that's the next feud we
It's
get
the next
into,
feud. I like
which
it.
was the feud in NXT UK.
It was good.
All
Oh,
right,
yeah.
now the crowd's excited, so let's destroy their morale. Liv Morgan versus Shayna Baszler.
Oh,
I
Lord.
honestly don't give any shits about this match.
I
And
kind of don't
I
either,
like
honestly.
Liv,
I like both, but I don't really care,
But-
honestly.
I'm with you.
if there's a title to change in
As a
this
fan of
show,
women's wrestling, honestly,
if there's a
I
title
really
to
don't.
change in this show,
It would be
this is the one.
I
Because
agree.
Shayna Baszler, when she was in NXT under the tutelage of Triple H, was a ass-kicking machine.
She said that on
and
NXT
she did
last
not
night.
lose.
She did.
She's a
Yep.
killer.
Hardly ever.
She
She
used to be a killer, guys.
Chuck,
She was.
is this where Shayna Baszler? Is this where they get this title run, which hasn't been great? It's not really Liv's fault,
This
but it
one's
hasn't been good.
because I could see it change.
Is this where they take the belt off of her, or have some Rousey interference? Because spoiler alert, on SmackDown, she's reinstated. For you people that think she actually got fired.
Gross.
Who are you picking?
Oh, look, listen to y'all. I'm
I
picking
know.
Liv Morgan to somehow. That's what I put in my article. I'm gonna
Yeah.
fall asleep and probably go get beer during this match. Then I'll be back, and somehow she's gonna leave with the belt.
You have, to,
I got-
you have to go bring the cooler to your couch, bro.
I got.
No, I have to go to the store because I'll be so pumped up. I'm gonna have to walk down the street because Gunther and Sheamus is gonna have me so fucking like excited.
I got
But
Liv retaining
you got
somehow.
Liv?
Somehow she's gonna do it. She beat Ronda somehow. I think she's
All right.
gonna pull another one.
Well, so here's
Somehow.
my I'm kind of going with your because this is for the briefcase, right?
It
So
is,
it
yep.
fucking matters.
Yeah.
No
All
ties.
right.
We'll figure some shit
We'll
out.
figure something out.
I don't see this title changing anything. I'm sorry. I think she's legit,
Mm-hmm.
Baszler, but I just don't see her being champion now. Ever since Rousey was like, "You used to be a killer," she's been more hardcore.
Mhm.
But are we really going to see her versus Rousey for the title next time?
Maybe the Rousey's still
think
listed
so?
as a
You
baby
think
face.
so? All right, fuck you.
Look,
You're going with
I
Liv?
see
You're
where
going with
going
Liv?
Liv.
the way baby
Baszler.
shaking his head.
He's got
Baszler. Jimmy convinced me.
Is Jimmy? Is he even leaning that way though?
He-
Watch him
he-
pick Liv.
Yes, I'm
Baszler.
taking Shayna here. I think this is one of
Alright.
Triple H's pet projects from NXT that he is going to correct
Alright.
all the wrongdoings that have been done on her.
That
Alright.
makes
I
sense.
see, that
title.
makes sense.
I'm
In
going
like
Baszler.
2 weeks.
There we
Fine.
go.
All right, so I feel like both of these
I
is
like
going to
it.
cling to this match that I'm
Because
not.
I
even-
can see either one of these
So-
things happening.
So
The one.
giving you a future title opportunity is going to hinge on on a match that I'm going to be at the gas station during. This is why it's so fun.
Prep-
It is. It is
They
fun.
sell beer at 11. Go get it then.
I will be out of beer by then. That is the point.
Get more.
24 ain't enough for an hour. Anyway,
Okay.
Jimmy's like, you
He's like, you
alcoholic.
fucking idiot.
I know, and I felt so dumb. I was like, how do you spell intercontinental? So I put IC title because I'm too stupid to spell it. And then I don't
Well,
like
I do it all the time.
it
I
takes
do
up,
too.
It takes up the whole fucking
It
the whole
does.
bar.
But I
And that
see.
drives me.
Spelling
That's the excuse I use. I don't tell people I can't spell it. I'm just like, yo, I'm trying to save space.
They don't need to know
It's a
that. They
good
don't need
one.
to know that.
All right, so Josh is back from a Ameristop, and he wants to get excited again. And here we go.
Oh Lord.
Edge and Rey Mysterio against Finn Balor
sounds
and Damian
tough.
Priest,
Now,
who
let's be honest. We all know that Dominic's going to fuck over Edge and Ray, right?
Somehow.
I'm picking the Judgment Day to win.
Absolutely.
And I think this is where Dominic turns heel
Yep.
on Raw. You've seen him look at him. He's like, I thought this was a family thing. He said it is. Edge's family. He's butthurt.
He was like,
And Rhea
Yep.
and him had that thing at the beginning of the
Yep.
show.
And he wasn't gonna do nothing to her.
He gave her the chair. What the fuck?
Yeah, like
Be a real man. Give Rhea the
Like,
chair.
so you would give her the chair? At least throw it out of the ring.
I can't wait.
Get away from her.
so. I think this is where Dominic turns.
I think
I agree.
This is his time. We've been saying that.
And
on
I
this show
got.
forever.
I mean, we're setting up Finn and Edge at Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
correct?
All because
Like,
Edge mistakenly speared Dominic weeks ago,
Yeah,
and
That's all
Dominic can't
it's
get
all
over it.
about.
I'm going to Judgment Day, and thank you Triple H for saving which that group was fucking
Yes,
falling
it was
apart.
falling
Yes.
apart.
Dude, it was.
It was falling
It
apart.
was so good.
It
It
was-
got so shitty so quick.
It
And then
did.
It was
I think
cool
Rhea
that-
plays into that too, though. I think
Oh, dude,
her not
Rhea?
being there hurt it.
they're
Rhea's-
talking about who the leader is. Honestly,
It's
I
Rhea.
think it is Rhea.
I think
Rhea's-
it's Rhea.
She's always in the middle.
I love
And she
Rhea.
beat dude's ass. And she don't give a shit.
Look, at you can't hit her back because it's
Yes, you can.
She's a real woman. She'll beat the
You-
crap
you-
out of
Nia Jax got 619.
Here's the way that you look at it as far as who the leader is. When they got back in that ring and they called out Edge, who was the first person that called him out? It was Rhea.
Yep.
Rhea.
Clearly the leader. At this point, I don't even. If you're trying to argue with me, I ain't listening.
It's Rhea.
Goodbye, because
I love
there's
it.
no
When
reason she would be the one calling him out.
Absolutely. When they came out, she was the last one to come out. It was one
She
at a
was.
time, and she was the last one walking down the middle. It's like, well, she's the fucking leader.
Oh, dude, and that graphic they gave them, like
I
where the
love
big ass
it.
graphic pops up, like the big dog or what the fuck it is,
I
that was
love- I
badass.
love it.
And their merch is cool.
Yeah, it is
So
cool.
that's
Their
just
new-
another
their
thing
new
Triple H
t-shirt,
said
yeah.
because Judgment Day was going to fail.
It was,
The way it was going.
It was looking like, what's that one group's name? They invaded our podcast that one night. What was their group?
Oh, Retribution.
It was going the
Yeah.
retribution route.
It was.
And then it took us
Dude, I spent 6 hours on a Saturday, writing an article breaking down the accomplishments of everybody in Retribution and why it was going to work. It was 6 hours. I will never get back. And Mustafa Ali, you have the audacity to block me on Twitter, you motherfucker. I spent 6 hours trying to put over a guy named T-Bar and Slap Nuts and
Slapjack.
what was the girl's name? Reckoning.
Yeah.
But anyway,
It should have worked.
Mace was your favorite.
we all Judgment Day.
Judgment Day.
Mace is my favorite, and he's the
I like
best
Mace.
maximum male model as well. But that's for a different day.
Yeah,
All right.
Dominic's
Do
turning.
you also have Judgment
Yeah,
Day?
I got Judgment Day. There's no way I'm
Dominic's
taking it.
turning. We'll say it again on this show. He's on a turn.
Now,
Judgment Day all day.
this
I
match
like
could steal the show, and we alluded to the promo earlier. Shit got real between these guys. Seth,
Big time.
it's PG, it's TV-14. I say Seth fucking Rollins and the newly named Matt Riddle.
Yep, Matt Riddle.
Brand new.
Matt Riddle.
Hey, he got his first name back. So now in the banner, I can put Matt.
There you
Let me
go.
fix that
Riddle.
real quick.
So when they were doing the little promo, and I was kind of
Bam.
like, with Jimmy mentioned earlier, it was kind of lame, and I thought the same thing. They did a little parking lot battle.
Well, that was pretty cool.
That was-
that
Hey,
was.
Jimmy, so the NXT feel is on Raw because then every week on NXT, somebody's getting beat up in the parking lot.
Parking lot. Yep.
Yeah.
Every week. No, like it's an ongoing joke.
It
It's like
is
Triple
every
H in the
week.
parking lot because that's where shit goes down.
It
Samoa
does.
Joe got injured about 36 times in that parking
He
lot.
did.
Yep.
He
The
did.
best part about that parking lot segment is that there was no camera people around, and it
Yeah.
really had people thinking,
Absolutely.
That was
because of their
selfie.
prior heat,
Yep.
people were like, is that real?
Yep.
He
It
said,
was
"You're
done-
creeping around my bus." He's like, "I was not around your bus, bro."
Get away from my family.
So I'm
Seriously.
sitting there working at 9 a.m. just doing my little thing on my computer, and then they're doing their little, and it was kind of lame. Matt Riddle made the same joke that Damian Priest made earlier that night about who wears the pants in the family.
He
It's like,
did.
yeah, whatever. And then all of a sudden, Seth Rollins is like, "You little bitch," whatever he said.
Yep, he did.
And
He
then
said,
Matt,
"Are the cameras still rolling?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Riddle, you still there?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You
Hey,
gotta
little
look after
bitch.
my
"Your
family."
bitch ass." That's what he said.
He
Then
did.
talking about his family thing, and then Matt Riddle's like, "I'll fuck you up." It's like, oh, they just said "fuck" on WWE Raw.
He did.
What is happening at 9 a.m. right now? I'm looking
He
up
did.
like, oh, that's the first time I looked up at WWE in quite a while. I couldn't believe it. It was
Right.
like, oh,
Where y'all going? This is the hardest match for me to
This
pick.
is tough because this can go either way. But I can't.
Who wants to go for who's going first?
I'll go first for you.
let's hear it.
So I was a big pusher of Matt Riddle for the past, since he's been on the main roster. I love the dude, everything about him.
Mhm.
This man, Seth Rollins can't take a loss. He can't.
He
said a
can't.
lot.
All
Is
year.
that a lot?
He's lost Cody. Yeah.
Matt Riddle can lose because the Randy Orton stuff is put on pause.
Sure.
Absolutely. Yep.
Until that comes back, it can work. I'm
Mhm.
taking my man Seth freaking Rollins here,
He-
yes, this is probably, if there's one match that challenges the Gunther Sheamus match of the weekend, this is it.
Yep.
It
They're
can clearly,
both amazing.
I
either
think
way.
Yeah.
I think we got 4. Hayes and Ricochet.
Yep.
This one.
Yep.
Gunther and Sheamus. Drew and Roman.
Drew Roman. Yep.
Those are the 4. I know,
That
and
match
everybody's
we've
like
seen.
Drew and Roman. I know, but like we've seen Brock and Roman about 5,000 times.
Yeah,
Look how
they
great
never got better.
it was.
They did.
The last one was fun.
that last one was amazing, bro. The storytelling that Roman does is what does it. It's not the in-ring, it's the storytelling.
No,
Yeah.
I got Chuck on video on this fucking podcast we do every week, putting that match over,
That was
and now
great.
he's like,
I
it
was-
sucked.
I was drunk.
He says that he's drunk.
That doesn't ever change. Let me tell you a story. I once liked this girl who would not get off of drugs. You know what ended up happening? I gave up because I was never more important than drugs. So,
God.
You should start doing drugs with her.
oh my
Oh
god.
my Lord, have mercy.
Problem
I'm taking Seth Rollins for the same reasons pretty much Jimmy had.
Yeah,
is
me
the
too.
dude has been putting people over.
And
He's
been
been in John
losing.
Cena mode for the last 6
Yeah.
months. He lost to Cody 3 fucking
3
times.
times.
Like he's not winning. He needs a win. He
Needs
can't
to win
afford
that.
another loss. Riddle can get over
I agree.
without going over.
Yep.
Riddle has a great showing like he did against Roman.
He did, absolutely.
And Seth moves on to whatever the fuck is next for Seth, which
Yeah.
He already mentioned the title.
yeah, so did KO. So
Yeah, they
like a
both
lot of
did.
people are throwing their
Yep.
shit in the hat for Roman.
Oh,
So
we
we'll
got
see what
Survivor
happens.
Series coming up. Yeah.
Well, then you got Cross,
Yep.
which we'll get to with Drew.
I got Seth. It's hard
But
to
yeah,
pick against
so
him.
everybody's going Seth.
I'm gonna go with Seth. Yeah, I mean,
Seth needs to win.
like Jimmy said,
Yeah,
we do-
absolutely.
Seth needs to win, and this won't be the make or break it either. I think this feud will continue after this pay per view.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely going into the Hell in a Cell.
right.
Absolutely.
So how crazy would it be if, like, since Roman's not doing Hell in a Cell, your 2 cell matches are Riddle and Rollins?
Wait, they did Hell in a Cell, didn't they?
No, I think that's
Cody,
next.
that's the Cody Rollins.
Yeah, Cody was in a Hell Cell.
Oh shit, was that Hell in a Cell? What the fuck is next?
The next one is the Saudi show, and then I think Survivor Series.
Saudi.
They're promoting
What
Survivor
the fuck?
Series.
What are they not doing anymore?
They just put it in a different.
They changed the placement of pay-per-views this year.
Right,
That's
they
what they
swapped
did.
it. Yeah.
Well, ignore everything I've been saying on RSH for the last like 6 months about Hell in a Cell is going to be great.
Oh
Yeah, because it
always
happened
do.
in fucking June.
Wait, me and Chuck always ignore you.
I always.
We always
October,
ignore
it's
you.
Extreme Rules, October 8th.
That makes sense.
So there you go, Seth and Matt in a
There we go.
group match, which
It'll be like
they've been doing at house shows, so that makes sense.
They would kill that.
It'll be a crazy like flip flop ninja
Hitting, smacking each other with
Yeah.
weapons. Yep.
match.
All right. Well,
By the way, I hated Matt Riddle early on. He's
Yeah.
said he loved him since day one.
He's still
I
gross
hated
wearing
it.
no
hey,
shoes.
Jimmy,
Now I love him.
ask him why he didn't like Matt Riddle.
Why didn't you like Matt Riddle, my man?
Why are you not wearing shoes and or knee pads? What the fuck is
It's
that?
disgusting. Put shoes on.
Put some fucking
Because
shoes.
he's
on.
Like
a
a grown up,
bro,
like I
bro.
said on this
Yeah.
show.
This,
Like a grown-up,
This
wear
first
shoes.
shit I deal with. First Rusev, now it's fucking Riddle.
The first time that fool rolls his ankle, I'm gonna fucking laugh.
In UFC, do they wear that stuff?
This isn't UFC. It's totally
But that's where he came from. That's
Totally
the
irrelevant.
thing. That's where he came from.
Hey Jimmy, ask him how he feels about UFC people coming into wrestling.
It's the worst. It's the worst thing ever.
I usually don't like it either, but Matt Riddle's the exception.
No, I love Matt Riddle. That's what I'm saying. I agree. I hate him early on. He grew on me right away.
He did.
Yeah. I
think
didn't like him in NXT.
but I didn't either.
I didn't think
He was in
He
NXT.
thought he had dirty hair, I think.
But
Yeah.
I love him now. His
Okay.
work is so good. I can't argue it.
All right.
I have
So
it on video.
let's transition to another one of Chuck's favorite fucking things to talk about, pickles. And we know where this is going.
We smell the pickles. There she is.
It's definitely
Damage control.
Dude, she has ketchup in her hair. What the
Oh my
fuck
God.
is that?
Damage control against
She's gross.
Asuka,
She's gross.
Alexa Bliss, and Bianca Belair.
Oh,
Six man.
Six
I don't see
women.
I can't deal. I
You
can't
know,
deal with
another
this.
gender.
It would
get
be a
together.
6-man if Charlotte was in it,
Right.
but she's not.
We know you miss Charlotte. Calm down.
Charlotte, never mind.
Yes,
Well, we're
what's
not
that?
going to start on Charlotte.
Calm down.
All right.
She's coming.
I've got damage control. They just lost.
I
I
do
don't
too.
think they take another
They're
one.
winning that, yeah.
So,
All day long.
Yeah, that's not a.
You're gonna win.
who takes the? I think Bailey pins Bianca,
Probably.
Yep,
and this
That's
sets
fine.
up Bailey Bianca at Extreme Rules
I agree.
because that's obviously where they're going.
They're going
which
with it.
Chuck
Yep.
brought up a good point earlier. We were talking off air. Like everybody's freaking out about Raquel and Aaliyah winning, but like Sasha and Naomi are going to come back. Do you really want
Anytime.
Bailey and Sasha right at each other's throats right away when it doesn't
Nope.
make sense?
It don't need to
Internet fucking fans, JD from New York, like
Man
Don't
ain't a
come
man.
after-
He
don't
ain't a
come
man.
after-
He ain't even a man. Don't give that.
No.
Exactly.
he came after our boy Corbin, who we hung out with in St. Louis
We
for about
did.
4 minutes.
Personal
did.
friends of the show.
And we took a picture with him, and he
Personal.
promised to come on the show,
He did.
and he didn't deliver because he's one of the best heels in wrestling.
He
And
is.
what
He
you-
got busy in Vegas.
what?
That
No,
happens.
what do heels do? They get your hopes up, then they fucking kill them.
Crush him.
That-
And-
Awesome.
that's also women.
Reports
But,
are about Corbin. You know why he's been losing so much? He's about to go back to being sad, and it's going to be fucking amazing because sad
Baby.
Corbin. Look, Triple H like knows everything. He's like,
He does.
sad Corbin, you're coming back. I got to figure out how to get Adam Cole out of that shithole
dude,
over there.
Remember
Like,
when we hung
Yeah.
out with him, he even said, I prefer being
yeah,
sad.
he said
did.
he
He
said
did.
the sad gimmick was his favorite
Word
one.
for
His
word, he
favorite.
said
And
that.
then
He
he was
did.
like, "Yeah, I watch AEW." He's like, "I'm a big MJF guy."
Oh,
So I was
right.
like, "This
Yeah.
dude's fucking
Oh yeah,
awesome."
they interact with each other on Twitter all the time.
Yeah.
When MJF is on Twitter, but
Sure.
That
But
is
yeah,
cool.
so Raquel and Aaliyah winning makes actually more sense
It
than, like,
does.
than people getting on their keyboards at 11:08 saying, "This is what I've been waiting for," with his fucking straw up his nose. But no, like Sasha stays away from Bailey, which needs to happen
needs to
because
happen.
Bianca and Bailey's where they're gonna obviously
Where
be
it needs to
going.
happen.
And now, since it was a illegal person, that feud can keep
Protects
going
them.
on its
There
own.
we go.
Like
Yep.
you can still book that feud. When Naomi and Sasha come back, they can be injected into that feud, and Bailey can be doing something else.
Yeah, that's all it needs to
That's
happen.
what happened, JD in New York.
Yeah.
But
Get it
anyways, I thought it
together,
was funny.
JD.
They called him
JD.
out, and then he, like, Sam Roberts called him out. Baron Corbin called him out. And then he's like,
my
"Look at-"
man Sam.
he said, "Look at all this clout I'm getting." Everybody's like, "Dude, you're a fucking idiot." But anyway,
There.
I'm taking damage control.
I got damage control too. That's
All
what needs
day.
to happen.
All day.
Yeah,
every
Right,
day.
Bailey,
it's good.
Bailey pins Bianca. That's what she needs to
I
happen.
got Bailey pinning Oscar.
Poor Asuka.
That works too. Yep.
You
Bianca or
saved
Asuka,
the
I
Bailey.
see
You
your
saved the
pin.
Bailey Bianca thing.
That's fair.
One of those two.
And the main event. How big of a swerve would it be if, like, the first thing you see is Roman's music? And it's like, holy shit, in the
He
main,
Brock
in the
Lesnar's
main
in.
event. No, Roman's like, "Get me the fuck out of UK." And then the
Get
last
me
match
outta
is
here.
Gunther and Sheamus. the last thing we see is Pete Dunne and Gunther face to face as it goes off the air. Vince would lose his shit. He'd call Triple H like, dude, I gotta get you out of there. Like, what are you doing to my shit?
Tony Khan would be like, dude, that's genius.
He's like, the only thing you haven't changed. Tony Khan would have been like, that was a great main event. We should have put that in the middle of the show. But all right. Oh yeah, main event. My bad.
Drew and Roman.
And the graphics for this are pretty fun.
They are pretty cool.
Very Lord of the Rings like.
Is this all right?
The moving graphics for it are awesome as well. If you haven't seen them,
Which one?
The moving graphics for it.
Oh, the moving graphics are always fucking great. WWE productions like fucking ridiculous.
A lot of money.
They are. Yeah.
All right,
that's what happens.
Look. There's a lot of Jimmy's like fuck the reports, but there's a lot of them.
McIntyre's not losing, bro.
There's a lot of them that says this is where Roman drops
he's
the
not
titles.
losing. There's no way he's losing.
Look, I'll ask you guys all because there's a couple factors here. It's Karrion Kross.
Sure. He'll probably cost McIntyre the match.
He's got his sights set on Drew.
He may attack both of them.
Or it could be like
he's probably sick of Drew destroying him on Twitter.
He probably is.
About his
and he's sick of Roman,
what he was wearing. And then he said, hey, the little fucking glass thing you put down doesn't do TikTok, right? He's like, it doesn't make a sound. And everybody's like, God damn it, Drew. Like, don't bury this guy.
Easy guy.
But so I figure it's like Cross cost Drew. The Fiend appears and costs Drew.
Yep.
I don't think we're gonna see the Fiend in England. Look, I'd be cool with it, but that's something we're gonna see the Fiend.
www.wrestlebuddy.com. Check out my article. It's in it. Roman's gonna win.
Sure.
I put somehow. I don't fucking know how.
He's gonna win somehow.
Sami Zayn.
Something.
I feel like Sami Zayn will help.
Sure.
Like something like
he's
that.
He's a right-hand man.
Sami Zayn is the fucking guy.
Sami Zayn is the only one that'll be there to help Roman.
Exactly.
Absolutely is.
Are they gonna get stuck at the UK border?
I don't think they can go in there because of the DUI stuff. So
no, they can. We Googled it on air last week.
We Googled it.
But they have to go through some process, and I don't know because they've been talking about how the reports have said the Usos don't expect them there. That's why they're not. That's why they haven't been booked in a match.
All right, so Sami Zayn
helps the guy.
Roman.
Yep,
the lights
go out. He's the real bloodline these days.
The lights go out. They come back on. The Fiend and Roman storyline's there. They created a fucking pay-per-view for the guy just to put the title on him a week after a pay-per-view.
Alexa gave that tease like a week later too, and they never revisited it.
Nope. And this is the fucking time to do it. Oh, but the Fiend doesn't have to have a title. You have the Fiend be like, I don't care about that, Roman. I'm here to end you. And you keep the Fiend away from the fucking champion. You do not put him in a championship match.
No.
Sure. Maybe that's me as a fantasy boy because I'm a big Fiend fan as you are a CM Punk fan. Like I am.
I'm a big Fiend fan too.
I love the Fiend,
dude. I paid $486. I went back and looked.
Bro,
be the Fiend.
I'll put the mask on if you want me to.
Oh, let's do it.
There we go.
Oh, dude, I did the whole thing. I bought the fucking striped pants. I bought his fucking boots. I own every shirt. Actually, there's 2 Fiend shirts. I have 3 of because I keep forgetting. Like, do I have it or do I not?
I did a photo shoot with my girlfriend's daughter. She was Alexa Bliss, and I was the Fiend.
Oh,
there you go.
The whole thing, bro. Yeah, I'm
right
there with you, bro.
I like that.
I flirted with some girl online playing with the Firefly Funhouse puppets.
For God's
sake. It work?
No.
No, well.
I'm so single.
Real women don't puppets, really. Ew.
I mean, they accept puppets.
Look, I think if you're like my whole thing is if Triple H wants to like hammer like this is my first fucking big pay-per-view.
Sure.
That's how you solidify it. And if the Fiend returns, you have to factor AEW in it a little bit too. If the Fiend returns, what can AEW do Sunday night? That's going to take that talking, like the internet chatter is going to be all about the Fiend and what happens on Raw Monday. Mm-hmm. What can AEW do to match that?
And Drift is the only rebuttal.
Labor Day is always their worst view show because it's Labor Day weekend, you know, people do whatever. What else do you do to have fucking people tune in? You put something on. I saw a graph like 538 days since he's wrestled his last match. It's fucking crazy.
I have been seeing him a lot more on the dirt sheets these past couple of days.
So. Long story short, I got Roman winning. Lights go out. Fiend appears. Roman's like, what the fuck? Lights go out. Come back on. He's gone. Sammy's there. Like, Sammy's just like laid out on the ground somewhere.
I dig it.
And like that's how we leave. And Roman's just like shook. Like, oh my God, what the fuck? And that's how it goes off.
Yeah.
I dig
what happened? I don't know. But I got Roman winning. I need to see him lose. I do think Drew is the closest thing they've had to somebody that'll take it. Because they've been building Drew up.
They have.
The video packages.
They fought before and Reigns won. That's years ago.
They did the feud at Mania one year too. That was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
that Roman won as well. But I got Roman. I got to see him lose.
It's just well, Roman's title reign at this point, it's too long to be a random loss. It's got to be built bigger than what I think this is.
I think the video packages they've been releasing online, because they're going to start doing so much more stuff online, like they did with the parking lot fight with Seth and Riddle, and they've been doing a few other things. I think they put together 3 video packages building Drew up as like, this is the culmination of everything that he's been trying to get back. So I think they've done a better job building this than they have
anything else ever.
A lot of other stuff they've done.
Tell us how you really feel.
I mean, last couple of years, yeah.
He will.
I agree. They brought his mom down and everything. They made it all personal.
They did.
But do you think, Jimmy, that Reigns has a shot at losing this Sunday or this Saturday?
Okay, so I'm gonna kind of piggyback off of what Josh was saying here, except for I have Drew beating Roman, and then after the fact, you have I think Sammy cost Roman here. I think that's what we get to start there, and then afterwards you get the Fiend returning. He goes after Roman. That way you keep the title away from the Fiend, and he's still involved with the biggest bad dude in the on the planet, and it just makes sense because you can continue the story. If Roman has the title and Fiend's involved, I'm automatically turned off. I don't want to see it.
That makes more
That's
sense.
what ruined it last time.
So what's next for Drew as champion after Saturday?
Karrion Kross.
Karrion Kross, I guess.
Karrion Kross, I don't think is at the
sense.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
But I can't have Roman lose.
Dude, if you go into
that's not happening.
If you don't fucking me your negativity. If you
I
go
think
in,
you have to give Drew
with Fiend and did Roman say he's fighting at Extreme Rules or not?
No, you won't see him against the Survivor Series probably. Or no, he'll have to be at the Saudi show. He has to.
So Fiend and
Dude's
Roman
lazy.
at Saudi, and Drew versus Karrion Kross as a headliner. Triple H, dude.
Nah.
2 of his. I know Drew was there before, but like Triple H brings him back.
Sure.
He goes to NXT, he's got both his NXT guys that he loved in the main event. Went for the Universal title at Extreme Rules. Like that. This is Triple H's show now.
Oh, for sure.
That would be the stamp calling card. Is like they said he's the number 2 heel behind Roman right now.
Yeah.
Internally listed on the roster thing.
At no point has he gone after Roman. It's literally.
Oh, he hasn't
It's all
even
been
mentioned the
McIntyre.
Yeah,
title.
exactly. So
In my opinion, that means it's more likely that he might screw McIntyre of the championship or have a screwy finish and Reigns wins somehow, and McIntyre and Cross will fight without the title, and Reigns will go on to do whatever Reigns is going to do next.
just with some like outside stuff, though, I think Karrion Kross had prior obligations. He was booked for a lot of indie shows, and he can't wrestle at them, but he said he's going to go to all of them to do meet and greets.
Right.
I think one of those was this weekend. I don't see him being at Clash.
I think, dude,
Well, that's fine.
No,
Either way.
look, we had Jason Dugan from ARW on like a month ago, and
That
we were
was last
talking.
week.
That was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
It wasn't last week. But like, he was booked for one of their like shows to be there, and I did read WWE was going to let him fulfill his obligations. Yeah. He might be at ARW this weekend. That's probably why, which is a hell of a coincidence because we just had that dude on here, and I was like, dude, does it? Because Loomis was also on that show, and I was like, dude, does it suck losing all these people? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I wanted to meet these fucking guys.
But Karrion Kross put out on Twitter, he goes, I'm still going to be attending all these shows. You don't have to pay for the meet and greet. If you paid for a ticket, you get to meet me and Scarlett. We'll be there taking pictures and all that stuff.
That's cool.
That is cool.
Karrion Kross is a very, very cool fucking dude in person. If you ever
oh, dude, he retweets and likes and shit. She'll post stuff and he'll like retweet it.
I talked to him,
When I met him a few weeks ago during SummerSlam weekend at the whatever fan fest it was, there was a fan in front of me that handed him like pictures that he took when he was at a show, and Karrion Kross just got little bug eyes. These are fucking awesome. I'm gonna hang these in my fucking office, and I'll fucking prove it to you. Watch my Twitter. I'll put it out there.
That's awesome.
Like he was just like he was like so intense, but it was a very cool gesture that he's not like just saying, "Oh, thanks, man," and then just tossing aside. Right. He was taking so much care of him. He's like putting him down and making sure. Yeah. Scarlett's like, those could get knocked over. He goes, I dare someone knock him over. Like, he's a cool motherfucker. So
I believe that.
He is cool.
That's cool.
All right. We got a Drew. So we got a split.
Yep.
Reigns all day. He's not losing on Saturday.
All
right. So the Money in the Bank will be determined
against a woman match
by
Liv
and Baszler.
It always comes down to
ours will be determined. If we
we got two difference.
Yeah. So in order of a tie, we both. I was going to say does the Fiend return, but we both have him returning. You guys don't have to worry about a tie. You got one.
We got one.
You guys should be fine.
Unless we both the same Same. Oh, we can't tie. You're right. I like it.
We can. I don't know what's fucking.
We can base it off of who gets pinned in the damage control because we both have.
There we
Okay.
go. I like that.
That's fair.
like
I got
that.
Bianca getting pinned.
And I got Asuka.
I
Okay,
like
that works.
Those
We
are-
need to have him around when we do like
I know
our
we do our
shit
shit.
because we
Right.
tie all the time.
We do.
And it's like Ty goes to the champion, which is probably responsible for like at
WWE's
least
rules.
400 of my days.
Yeah.
But we
Got
all
that
agreed on
right.
these rules.
Mhm.
I mean, that's how WWE does it. If you,
Yep.
But you know,
if you die, winner.
since you're wearing
Okay.
the shirt of a person who can't handle being a champion, I figured I'd give you a non-title as a shot at somebody who carries around the real big gold belt that we bought for like $100 off some shady wrestling website.
Hey, it looks
But it doesn't
nice.
matter.
It is nice.
So yeah. All right, Jimmy, real quick. I know you're about to get an AEW. Real quick. What the fuck's that pay-per-view called? Worlds Collide.
Yep.
Breaker or bait?
I don't think you can have Breaker lose the bait. I don't think the audience that watches NXT is that familiar with bait to where you
That's
take it off of him. I don't think you can do that.
I got Breaker as well.
I got Breaker.
I have no
Chuck's
idea.
like, who the fuck are these
Yeah.
people?
I think it'll be Breaker's best match since Ciampa though.
Probably because bait can go.
Yeah.
Mello and Ricochet.
That's tough.
Oh, Mello.
Match of the night, by the way.
Mello.
That's when it's
Mello
still-
all day.
It's gonna be Carmelo.
I'm telling you, Carmelo's gonna be the fucking like next big thing
He
to do
is.
when he
Next
comes
big
up.
thing.
If Mello loses, it's because he's going up to the main roster and Ricochet staying in NXT.
That's fair.
See, I thought that was weird. They put Ricochet. The match will be great.
Yeah.
But like Ricochet just beat Corbin, and he seems to be like moving up the
Yeah.
card a little bit.
That was the
But
That
then
could
they're like-
also be a thing to like make him elevated for NXT though.
Makes sense.
That's fair.
I think he fits much better in NXT, honestly.
You're right.
I honestly
And they
think
could,
it
yeah.
is too. Yeah. Mandy,
The gala, or yeah,
the women's,
the women's triple threat.
whatever the women's.
Mandy Rose, just because I don't
I got
care about the other
I
two.
got Mandy Rose too.
She's
I
hot.
do too.
I'm in.
It's a way to put
The
herself.
fatal
out there.
four-way for the tag team championships, to unify the tag titles. I got Creed brothers all day. I'm all in with the Creed brothers.
I love Julius Creed. I think the dude's one of the future like pillars they have. Since
he's-
that's
yeah.
the new word we use, and I think I'm not going against Creed brothers. Absolutely. No way.
I'm legally changing my middle name to Creed within the next 60 days. What the fuck else is there? The women's tag team title
Tag
match.
team. Yeah, I was just.
Dewdrop and Nikki ASH against Carter and Chance.
Bro, I don't even want to give this the time of day. I'm so pissed off with this match. I feel bad for Nikki and Dewdrop because they should be at Clash of the Castle. They should get that opportunity.
I agree.
Bullshit.
I agree.
They fucked up not putting the people that like Dewdrop's reaction over there would have been.
Exactly.
It should be Dewdrop. They should have done the finals over there, and it should have been
Dewdrop and Nikki
Dewdrop.
versus
against Raquel and Aaliyah.
There we
That's
go.
why I thought they were going to win the tournament the whole time. Is because I thought the finals would be.
Okay, you want all the big
Clash.
UK people
It
there.
made sense.
Is that all? There's only 5, I think. All right, we'll end on this.
That's it.
You guys have anybody else returning this weekend on either brand?
Returning, no. I don't think he's going to show up.
Including All Out.
Yeah.
Including All Out.
Maybe
I
MJF.
think MJF, you see MJF this weekend.
MJF, yeah.
I argue with
If
that.
you don't see him tonight, you see him this weekend.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you this. If you see the Fiend, we see MJF. If we don't see no Fiend, I don't think we see MJF.
I think
MJF
MJF
is
is more
the
like
Joker. They have a Joker for their ladder match.
right, and that's where I think he may show up too.
He may be in
Joker
it.
for the
Yeah.
ladder match.
But the difference is MJF is still under contract. As far as we know, the Fiend's not. So it's more likely that MJF shows up.
Yeah. No, you're right. I'm hoping, dude. I'm hoping and praying. If the Fiend comes back, it's fucking complete.
I
Like,
would love
he
it.
doesn't really need
I
to
love
sign
it.
nobody else.
We
Like,
don't.
leave Strowman and Bronson Reed alone. Like, you built the roster back up. Just keep doing what you're doing.
I think like you said earlier, if the Fiend shows up, it really hurts AEW's
It does.
interactions on Twitter and all that because
That matters. Like, that's a
People are gonna-
huge
people
gate.
are going to be going crazy over that all day Saturday, and then Worlds Collide is going to kind of cause a little bit of fatigue when you go into All Out because you were watching Worlds Collide all day.
That's
Yeah.
6
All-Out
hours of
pay-per-view.
wrestling in 2 days.
The All Out pay-per-view is going to be like long, so it's gonna. I think it's gonna hurt it a little bit. I think Triple H is playing this actually to perfection if he's wanting to go head to head with.
He is.
And I know people are like, it's not a competition, and I agree. WWE's leagues ahead, but if he's gonna really come out swinging,
That's
the
how
way
it's
he handled it this weekend is perfect.
It's like he did when he did NXT versus AEW.
Yeah.
His shows were fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because AEW was watching him and then doing the same thing like 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Except that they didn't have handcuffs and NXT did. That was the big difference.
That's fair.
Oh, now they don't give a fuck. They're
No.
screaming fuck. Riddle's gonna fucking kill Seth.
The old
Yeah,
man's
exactly.
out, dude. And
Hey,
it's better
dude,
for everybody.
it's truly a different WWE
It is.
right now.
It's crazy that, this real quick before we leave, just the fact that Vince McMahon is like the creator of professional wrestling as I know it, and him leaving has been the best thing for it in my adulthood and my 30s. It's fucking crazy how that goes.
Change is good.
It is.
John's- or
Absolutely.
Vince McMahon having no self-control.
Evolution, man, you
just
need it.
Changed everything.
It's a mystery.
I don't even know what I don't even know what this card would look like. If
Right.
Vince was still in
I
charge.
probably wouldn't be watching it live if it was
We
Vince
probably
still.
wouldn't have it.
We wouldn't be talking about the Fiend returning.
We wouldn't be.
He'd be
That
like-
would be a conversation.
He'd be like, R-Truth, he's the European champion. Put him on the card.
Yeah.
Put him on the card.
Like, I mean, it'd be totally different, and it's a good thing that he is not. But that is all we have for you guys tonight. I hope you all enjoyed the show. Jimmy Bay, thank you so much for joining. Before you leave, tell us where all of our lovely guests can find you, find your podcast, find your social media. Tell us where we find you.
Jimmy Bebe, it's right there, right there. You find me on Twitter with that. If you want just a clean, positive outlook on the wrestling community, I'm your guy. As far as where you can find me on YouTube, I do the Dynamite recap. I'll be there tonight after the show. You'll see a very happy man or you'll see a very sad man again. So check that out. I also do Raw recaps after Raw. We got a bunch of stuff coming on WrestleBuddy this weekend. So if you can't watch live for whatever reason, we got you covered. We'll have it on the website. We'll have watch-alongs, all the good stuff. We'll have another prediction show like this today, tomorrow, but we'll have one for Worlds Collide and All Out as well the following day. And you can also find me, Drip King of Wrestling, on YouTube, my own personal thing. I got a bunch of shows coming out. I'm working on stuff. It's going to be fun stuff because, again, that's what I like to do. I like to present fun and not the other stuff that we see too much of sometimes. That's all I'll say, and that's where you can find me. I do like y'all. Y'all are fun. I'm not shitting on y'all. Just I do like y'all are fun. I do enjoy my time here.
Good.
We
Awesome.
enjoyed having you on
We
again.
enjoy having you on.
Well, again, always a pleasure to have you on. I can't wait to have you on again. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Absolutely.
You're intelligent. You're fun.
He
Love to
is.
have you on the show.
What did I tell you about
Thanks so
mine?
much.
All right, guys, and you can always find RSH Wrestling on Twitter, on Facebook. You can also find us at SJP World Media, full of our show, full of other amazing shows, some wrestling, some not. Be
There
sure
it
to
is.
check them out. Check all of that stuff out.
I almost ran out of characters. Did all this
We
shit.
got a lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
And until next time, friends and family,
Yep.
be sure to watch us next week. Clash of the Castle.
Yeah,
Fallout.
Tyler Peters. Talk about a positive
Ooh,
person.
The man,
Jimmy, I take your positivity and I raise it twice.
dude, this guy, he is the JR of our fucking
He
shit.
is. He is.
And he is
definitely.
knowledgeable. He is positivity all day long.
He is definitely.
But he will be on next week.
There we go.
We will
Yes,
have
Tyler Peters is amazing. I love Tyler. He's
Oh,
on the podcast
he's-
last few weeks. I love him.
That's
He's
right.
great.
He has, dude. He's a podcasting machine.
He's a
He is.
Every day
He's
he's
been
doing
doing
something.
more work than I have this week. So yeah, he does everything.
He's probably done more work today than I did my entire life. That's but anyway, yeah. So can't wait to have him on the show next week. Always a pleasure to have Tyler.
Yeah.
He's a former guest of RSH as well.
He is, yeah.
And until next time, friends and family, continue to fear regularly scheduled hostilities.